What's up, everybody? It is your boy Justin from Justin Paul Sports. I know it's been a little while since I did a stream. I did one on the UFL a couple weeks ago, and it is time for the NFL draft. So we are excited for the NFL draft, and it's the first round. I kind of like how the NFL's spread out the first round, and then the Anyway, I've been having issues with my computer lately. But without further ado, let me introduce my guest. He is the Fantasy Football Strategist. James, welcome to the show. Tell everybody what's going on with you.
Hey, man. I've been taking a little bit of time off. I'm going to school to become X-ray tech, actually. So haven't been doing as much on my channel, but I'm going to be creating some.
This is not good. This is not what I need, folks. Let's see here.
Should be working.
Refreshing. Just keep the crowd entertained. See if I can come back in here.
Yeah, just to make sure. But anyways, what's up, guys? Going to be creating a lot more content post-draft, but a lot to be excited about tonight, depending on what you need. This draft has a lot of strength in terms of a solid amount of really good edge rush prospects this year. Quarterback's a little bit light. Running back is probably the lightest since 2024. Receiver has a lot of good wide receiver twos this year. If you're interested in some wide receiver twos, tight end has a couple of athletic specimens at tight end, and Sadiq and Stowers. So definitely a lot to be excited about. But probably more of a non-traditional draft in terms of the positional strengths as far as this season, with a lot of strengths in non-priority positions, I would say. But yeah, with the Raiders on the clock at 1, it's pretty likely that they take Mendoza. I'd be very surprised if they didn't, or if they traded out of this pick. But we'll see in a couple of minutes here who they end up selecting. As far as that, though, it'll be interesting to see if there's any more trading. George Pickens, for instance, just signed his franchise tag. And with that, he is able to be traded. So potentially he might be going somewhere else if he doesn't end up staying in Dallas. With the Patriots probably pursuing A.J. Brown post June 1, we'll see if maybe they just elect to take George Pickens instead from Dallas if that happens.
I can finally hear you now.
Yeah. And then, potentially there might be a trade up, later in the first round for Ty Simpson, given the scarcity of the quarterback position this year, man.
Ty Simpson, my boy from Alabama, the Crimson Tide.
Maybe somebody just takes him straight up. You never know.
I hope he comes out to Arizona. I think that there's a lot of things that he can do. I mean, I'm a Packers fan, as you guys can see. I live out in the desert, and I would like to see that for the Cardinals. I think that they can use the leadership. A lot of people like to say things about Ty, but he did get hurt for half the season. He even talked about that, and there are certain intangibles that you just can't teach. I'm going to keep messing with the sound here. Just keep on going real quick. I got to get some feeds up. I really apologize for these technical errors. I think it's time for me to get a new computer, even though this one's not that old.
Yeah, for sure. With Simpson, if he were to go to Arizona, I would love the fit in terms of an upgrade for Marvin Harrison, somebody that can actually see. Given that Kyler Murray, 5'10", really hard for him to access the intermediate middle of the field. I think that I'd kind of comp him and Mendoza somewhat similarly as prospects in terms of from a fantasy perspective. Mendoza, I think, is potentially a little bit better of a processor, but I do like Ty Simpson's accuracy. And as Justin mentioned, pre-injury, he was absolutely cooking. Post-injury did have some struggles, but that's kind of to be expected when you're playing through injury. And it really is a testament to his toughness that he was able to persist through injury. Didn't win it all this year, but only one team wins it all every year. Another thing is there's plenty of teams this year with multiple first-round picks. You have the Browns, you have the Giants after they traded away their defensive tackle, who Dexter Lawrence is probably and definitively the best defensive tackle in football. So, even in a draft that's maybe not as filled with blue chip prospects as most years, getting a 10th overall pick is pretty good. And there's definitely more than 10 total blue chip players, I'd say, or at least not maybe necessarily blue chip, but definite first round grades this year. So I'll be interested to see what the Giants do with their multiple firsts this year.
Yeah, it's hard to say. You can hear me all right, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Another team with multiple firsts is the Chiefs, and that's pretty rare for them too. So it'll be interesting to see if the Chiefs looks like you're potentially frozen there. But the Chiefs, it'll be interesting to see what they do with multiple firsts. The Rams, another team. Uh, Actually, I think they traded away their multiple firsts, but they still have a first round pick. So there's been a little bit of smoke of them potentially going wide receiver. Um, and with these wide receivers, I don't personally think that I think this is a weaker wide receiver class. I think there's a solid amount of wide receiver twos in terms of IRL talent. I don't really think, there's a lot of talk of, Carnell Tate potentially going top 6. Personally, I would reserve that kind of a pick for somebody that's like a Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr., Jamar Chase like prospect. But hey, you're back, man. But yeah, uh, definitely a whole lot of wide receiver twos this year in the draft.
So so if this kicks me out again, I'm gonna just do a full restart of my desktop. So again, I apologize. It just keeps I don't know if I got memory issues with my laptop or whatever. But folks, we are excited. I mean, I've been waiting for the draft for a bit. I've been enjoying the UFL. Have you been watching any of that?
No, it's really sparingly, but I'm not more of a random watcher there. Not really is into that necessarily. Not that it's bad or anything, but yeah.
Fair enough. I can hear that. So yeah, it's crazy what's been going on with my stuff here. Trying to get this to work, and it's just been acting real goofy.
But I would say if I what would you say? How many wide receivers do you think go first round? Not necessarily that you think are first round talents, but you know, how many do you think are actually selected this year in the first?
I think anything's possible, really. I would say maybe 3. I think 3 is the magic number. I mean, because that's kind of a position where you got to be really desperate. I think the Cowboys take one. I think the Saints might take one. And then I think the Giants might take one with Wan'Dale Robinson going out the door. So that's very possible of a situation there.
So you don't think KC, you don't think Denzel Boston, who's been more of a early 2 in recent mocks, maybe Omar Cooper, you think those guys probably fall out?
I don't think the Chiefs take one because Rashee Rice will be back. And then they still got Xavier Worthy. And I think that they can make something work there. I think they're more in the market of running back. I think that they're going to make a move to try and get up. I think that somebody mocked a trade with the Cardinals and the Chiefs to where Arizona moves down to 9, Kansas City goes up to 3, but
When they
then
have Kenneth Walker?
well,
You think they invest in another running back? I mean, anything's possible.
yeah, we just never know. We just never know. Trying to get this feed up here. I think I'm going to be on a delay, but I don't care. I'm interested in the NFL draft. My stuff has just been really, really ridiculous. I'm really going to have to look into, like I said, getting myself a new desktop or just something. This just keeps kicking me out of here. That was happening towards the end there with Bobby. I hope Bobby is watching. Shout out to Bobby. We've only got one viewer right now. But let's see, where is my ESPN feed? So right now I just kind of see photos of Mendoza. I don't know what you're seeing on your feed there, but they're just showing Fernando Mendoza getting ready to take the stage.
Yeah, interesting. He didn't show up. Usually, first overall picks show up, with the exception of the COVID year, for instance, with Trevor Lawrence. But
it's exciting, man. You ready for your upcoming dynasty seasons? You got anything going on? Any big trades? I know you like to troll me in our league, but our evident what's the word here? One of the guys that wasn't a big fan of mine. He quit, so no tears will be lost for our good friend from Minnesota. Okay, I see Steelers fans. What do you see on your screen there?
So right
It's
now, yeah, it's
kind of like the
Browns
feed I
fans,
got.
and then the stage right now, they got up terrible towels or something.
So
Uh,
we're kind of the
yeah,
same.
yeah, we're the same. But yeah,
Oh,
recent
Goodell's
trades
up
week,
there.
I got 3 seconds, including two, which project to be early 27 seconds, and that's going to be an insane class. So 3 seconds, a third, and a couple fourths for Tyler Shuck in a league in a 12-man. So, and he was my quarterback 4, so it was a pretty good deal. I got 3 firsts for Jeremiah Love, which is an automatic W because I wouldn't trade 3 firsts for really anybody personally. But
Right.
yeah, a couple interesting trades, big ones recently. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm it's been a lot harder. I made the move to trade away basically all of my 2026 firsts well before the season in anticipation of this class. Because while it definitely has strengths that are non-fantasy related, like the edge class is really good this year.
Yeah.
But for fantasy, it's not quite as exciting. So I decided to trade mine away, and I'm not too sad about that personally. But yeah, we'll see. Roger Goodell, we'll see what he has to say here. He has TJ Watt on the screen, and looks like Cam Hayward. But yeah, it looks like Mendoza's. They haven't drafted yet, but obviously, but I'd be very surprised if anybody but Fernando Mendoza goes number 1 here. With Fernando Mendoza, I kind of comped him to a Jared Goff plus. The plus being that he's a little bit more mobile. He might not be quite as high of an IQ player, coming out of college as Jared Goff was, but I think, the kind of game is similar. Somebody that doesn't necessarily have the best arm strength, but has perfectly adequate arm strength, very accurate, a pretty good processor. Now, they did a lot of, RPO stuff at Indiana, so it's not going to necessarily be quite as smooth of a transition as it would be for some players that run more of a traditional pro style offense. But with them signing Kirk Cousins, he's going to be able to sit for an amount of time. I really like the Linderbaum signing. I like the Kubiak signing with the wide zone play action under center game. Now that's one thing is Mendoza's probably going to have to learn how to play under center too. So it's going to be good that they're going to give him some time. But I like, the fit for Genti with the wide zone. I think, the Linderbaum signing once again reinforces that line. They have 2 solid offensive tackles.
Did you freeze up on me? Man, this is StreamYard's got problems. You froze up on me. There you
Yeah.
go. There you go. I don't know, man. This thing's been goofing up. So yeah, they got the Steelers out there. I mean, Pittsburgh's the host city last year. They had it in Green Bay. I wonder if Mike Vrabel will make an appearance here in the first round. I mean, he's got some draft picks on the board. They may want to talk about everybody's favorite coach, Mike Vrabel. I'm not so sure, but
It's
we're
pretty
just
funny that
gonna.
he was preaching to Travion Henderson about morals and values a couple weeks ago.
Swing and a miss. Sometimes you just do crazy stuff, But we're going to see what happens here. This is a unique format, like I was saying. When I kicked off the show, that I like how they've kind of spread it out. To make it an event. I mean, the NFL is pretty good about doing stuff like that, anyway. So, nonetheless, I'm going to cut this light off for a bit. Let's see how that. Oh man, that makes me really dark. So yeah, everything's just been having so much. I might need to get a new router or something. It's kind of crazy.
Be like that sometimes.
It does. Technology is not perfect. It ain't like everybody has the same, services like they used to with all that stuff. So I made a couple trades. I'm in a couple leagues, and in one league, in my main league, I guess I call it an IDP league, I finished dead last because I traded everything for first round 2027. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to sacrifice. This is a startup too. We started it up, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to trade the whole world away. And now, man, I mean, I must have acquired. I had 9 2027 firsts.
There you go.
But
That's
I
the class
trade
you want.
but I traded all that stuff away, and
Mhm.
like I got Jordan Love, not for a first, but like my quarterbacks are Love and Ward, but my receivers I got Chase, Nakua, Neighbors, Kyle Pitts, I got Fannin. Like I got a contender now. I got Brees Hall. Like it's just a solid enough football team. All right, first pick, 7 minutes. What does your clock say? Mine says 7:05.
It says 707, basically split the difference.
Okay. They said that Mendoza couldn't come. I guess his mother's health wasn't very good, so we hopefully that straightens up. We definitely would want to get that.
Oh, it's not going to, but it's not funny. But she's in a wheelchair permanently. If it's some kind of, is it fibrosis? I forget what she has, but she has something where she's going to be wheelchair bound, probably permanently. But
I removed the stream from Kick. Maybe that's what it was. That was kind of you know getting me all messed up here. So we'll see how this plays out. But do you think Mendoza should be the first pick? Do you think he's QB1? Or let me ask you this. Let me challenge you with this. I love college football, and I know that you do a lot of scouting and a lot of dynasty stuff. And I don't know. I actually don't know your feelings on college football.
mm,
But Indiana had a veteran football team, and a lot of people don't realize this due to the transfer portal. There were a lot of 23-year-olds on that football team. I didn't realize how much talent they had there as far as experience, and I think that makes a difference, especially in your offensive line, to where you got guys that are going against 19, 20, 20. It's a big difference between 19 and 20 years old than a 20 or 22-year-old football player, especially on the front. Mendoza
yeah,
doesn't have a whole lot of quarterbacking. He's got 2 years experience. And I just feel like, man, there might be something here. I like the kid. I mean, he's got the right mindset, good kid. He's not a jerk, nothing like that. And you want to see him succeed. But would you really think that he's QB1, or do you think it's somebody else like possibly Ty Simpson who waited it out and stayed in the same system and had a coaching change and played in a better conference, a tougher schedule? I mean, had a road win in Georgia. I mean, finally injuries caught up to him, and the Alabama offensive line was just a tragedy to watch. It's one of the worst I've seen in a long time. But do you think Mendoza is just a surefire pick, or should the Raiders have maybe explored to trade out? Or do you think that, like, what would you do if you were the Raiders? I guess take your fantasy helmet off here, and just if you're the Raiders, is this your guy?
so this is a multifaceted answer. I
Okay.
would say that I think in a vacuum, I think Mendoza is a perfectly reasonable number one pick. I mean,
Okay.
not there isn't a Trevor Lawrence type of prospect, a Caleb Williams. There isn't one of these prospects as just ridiculous upside or is viewed as a quote generational type player in every draft. I kind of
Yeah.
comped him to like a Jared Goff plus as a player in terms of kind of play style and some of his strengths. But I will say one thing: people that are definitive about this guy will be better than that guy, for sure, are really lying to themselves. Like, if you go back to last year, would you really substantially rather have Cam Ward or would you potentially want Dart? Like, would you substantially rather have Cam Ward? So this whole thing of, oh, this guy is easily the best pick at number one. I don't believe that's the correct process. I think that he's a fine number one pick. I think that Ty Simpson arguably has more upside. I think he's a little bit more of a fantasy friendly guy on the ground potentially, but I don't think that. Uh, I think both are perfectly fine first round picks, and I think you're getting a better value if you were to go with Ty Simpson. And I think he's going to have less of a problem translating to the NFL because of the offense he was running, as opposed to the really, really heavy RPO offense that Indiana runs. But to be fair, they're going to be able to sit. Uh, they're going to be able to sit Mendoza immediately, so that's not going to be an issue for him probably.
Interesting you talk about Cam Ward. He actually was a player I liked last year. I think there's a lot more to his game. I mean, he went to such a disaster piece down there in Nashville to where there wouldn't have been any hope. I mean, even John Elway would have went down there and cracked his skull. There wasn't a whole lot of help with Tony Pollard and just Calvin Ridley. God bless him, but they seem to have any superstars to really help him.
No, none.
So
Easily, in my opinion, the worst surrounding core. When you account if everybody is healthy for every team, That is like the worst surrounding cast. Tony Pollard is arguably the best offensive weapon he had. Yikes. At least the Raiders had Brock Bowers, for instance.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see who they end up going with. I'd be very surprised if it was anybody but Mendoza. But
100%.
Disregard that.
Yeah, and they also gave Mendoza the playbook, I believe. So, I mean, yeah.
Connected to MASTER.
All right, say something.
What's up?
Still trying to.
So the pick is in, and Goodell on the stream is walking up towards the.
He's already talking on my stream, so I got a little bit of a lead on you.
Okay.
He just made the pick. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Mendoza.
It is Mendoza.
MASTER disconnected. Ready to pair.
No big surprise there. Fernando Mendoza.
Connected to MASTER.
Let's see what we're doing here with our sound.
What is going on?
Just trying to. Well, you hear that lady talking like that's my.
Yeah, that's
my
what
Bluetooth. Like it's my speaker, and it tells me it's connected to the computer. It's telling me it's connected, but I don't hear nothing. So I'm gonna connect it.
Disconnected.
Oh well.
Ready to pair.
Just the sound really stinks from just a regular desktop.
I was just curious if you had like a lady of the night or something over or something. You never
A
know.
lady of the night, folks. Fernando Mendoza. The Jets are on the clock.
Do you think they go Reese or Bailey here? Maybe somewhere else.
Well, they did lose a couple players on defense. So, I mean, they traded away Quinnen Williams. They traded away Sauce Gardner. You know, why not build? There's no quarterback that I think that they're going to go in this draft, especially signing Geno. I think they're all in for Arch. I think this is a tank year again for the Jets. But then again, I don't know because, like, so the NFL to me is a real fickle business, and I think that there's a lot of people that don't know what the hell they're doing. I'll just flat out say it. They don't know what they're doing.
Yep.
You know, they're too absolutely ridiculous as far as just trying to think of what's a better way to say it. But they just kind of go on a whim, and they do what I think media tells them to do. I don't think that they know how to scout anymore. I think there's a lot of players and a lot of coaches that just are absolutely clueless, man. And I really believe that. I think that you got half the league that's got it right and half the league that doesn't care. And then I think, actually, I know I'm going half and half and another half, but like a third of the owners don't give a flying hoot. They just want to make money off their teams. And
yeah,
they're going to do it, you know. So Mendoza's in his Raiders hat. I mean, good for him, man. Honestly, good for him. I mean, he dismantled my Crimson Tide in the Rose Bowl. I mean, that they were just whipping them. But we're going to see what the Raiders do. I thought the Raiders, I mean, they got a nice core of offensive players, actually, I think. I like Gene T. I like Dante Thornton. It's hard for me to say I like Tennessee players, but I think you can make something there with him. He's fast and tall. I mean, you got Brock Bowers. But and now you got your quarterback, so the Raiders, you know, they went aggressive in the offensive line, and that's what they needed because that offensive line last season, holy
they had their best two tackles were hurt.
It was
they
bad.
Only had two good players on their offensive line, and it was their tackles, and both were out with injury. So, you know, that and the Linderbaum signing with the new wide zone under center play action scheme that Kubiak runs is going to be great for Genti. You got Bowers there. Now you got Mendoza, and you can afford to sit him. And if the decision to sit him has Tom Brady written all over it, man.
Well, you know, that's another thing, right?
Who knows what he's doing? I'm wearing
a Packers hat when I say this, but don't throw your quarterback in there and let him wear him out. You know, if he's in a situation where you set him up and the rest of the team's not ready, and he's your top first-round pick, he's your franchise guy, don't go out there and put him in a situation. You know, again, it's me ranting on the NFL here, but, like, quit trying to make this, we got to win with a rookie quarterback contract. When's it happened? I think Mahomes is the only one to do it. Purdy didn't do it. Jordan Love didn't do it. I mean, Jared Goff didn't do it. Anybody on a rookie deal, they may get to. So Burrow didn't get there and win it. So I think that's a flawed logic to try and save money when your quarterback is your entire investment in your offense. It just is, and it's worth your quarterback. Like I've said in my sports betting videos, your quarterback, your offensive line, your defensive line, those should be your absolute elite positions of football. You and I watched the Bears and the Packers last year, and the difference in both those games was no Micah Parsons. And the Bears still, and Caleb Williams was still uncomfortable for parts of that game. But when you take out an elite player like that on your pass rush, it made the difference. And it's true with any team, like when the 49ers lost Bosa, it's just defensive pass rush. The defensive end, man, is just everything to me on that side of the football. More than the linebackers, more than your secondary. Getting the quarterback you ain't even got to sack him to win. You've got to just make him uncomfortable and make him make a play on the move. Just pressures alone. That's why I was surprised when they traded for Parsons that they included Kenny Clark. All right, the Jets are making their pick.
David Bailey. I love the pick, man.
David Bailey. So pass rush.
More of a quote, as much of a quote sure thing in this draft as you could get at his respective position, at a valuable position. If you want, with the appeal with Arvell Reese is, hey, if he doesn't work out as an edge, he's a really good off-ball linebacker. That's cool. But man, if I had to bet on one of these edges to be a pretty good edge, it would be David Bailey. The bend around the edge is absolutely real, and 4.50 speed too.
Yeah, get to the quarterback. When you can get there, you can get there. Let's see here.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Aaron Glenn, and I do wish him the worst. I'm not going to lie, nothing against him personally, but I would love for them to have an offensive-minded play-calling head coach if they do get a quarterback next year to avoid ruining whoever they're going to take at quarterback next year with their 3 firsts.
All right, so I got my stream up here on the desktop. I'm going to see how this plays out. If it kicks me out, it kicks me out. So the Cardinals here, what do you think they do? You think they make the pick? What do you do if you're the Cardinals?
I would try to trade back personally if I was them, but I think they go with Arvell Reese.
Well, they haven't had a superstar. You don't think Jeremiah Love's in play here?
It's possible. So, they signed what's his name? Tyler Algier to fine money, nothing special in terms of his contract. They have Trey Benson. If he can stay healthy, he's been really good on a per rush basis. James Conner, kind of an older guy coming off injury once again for the billionth time in his career. Never played a full season once in his entire career, but really good player when he plays. I think I wouldn't draft Love if I was them. I don't think they're a Jeremiah Love away from winning. I would take the edge player, or I would potentially take like Francis Maui-Noah. Look to pair him opposite of, Paris Johnson out of Ohio State back in the day.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I'm curious to see if Carnell Tate goes top 6, because if he does, that's crazy to me. Like crazy.
What do you want your Ravens to pick?
I would like Ione, the guard.
So offensive line.
I mean, we were terrible in short yardage without the subtraction of Linderbaum. He was our best offensive lineman. So please take interior offensive line, guys, please. Or potentially, if Fano is there, that'd be okay. I think he could maybe play tackle. He has arm length concerns. Maybe he ships into guard, but I think he'd be good too. Just depends on who's there. But yeah, this is definitely an edge class. If you could label this class as having a strength for sure. And no surprise that the Jets take an edge there. Aaron Glenn trying to save his job. I forget what the stat was, but they had no interceptions last season, which is just insane. I don't remember the last time that somebody's done that. But for a defensive-minded head coach, for his team to have no interceptions, that is absolutely dreadful. And obviously, yeah, go ahead.
I think that stats like that are a little bit fickle, because turnovers are the one stat in football where it's like you can't. It's so hard to maintain. It's not like passing yardage or rushing yardage or even something along those. Turnovers are chance. You know, and I think that they need to create a statistic about interceptions because, like, if the ball just gets tipped, if the receiver just flaps it up in the air and somebody picks it off, I don't know if that's necessarily the quarterback's fault. There needs to be another term for it. 2-minute warning for the Cardinals. I think they're trying to make a trade. They haven't made their pick by now. I think they're trying to sell it.
Yeah, they had some in my subjective opinion. They had some pretend hype and smoke they were blowing out there of taking Love at 3 to try to get somebody to trade up for him.
You never know. They've got their left tackle. They've got great players. Like, I like who they have on this team. I like their linebacking core, but they do need some interior pass because Calais Campbell can't be there forever. So I wouldn't be mad if they went and got like heavy in the middle. But
if you're going up for Ty Simpson, if they do that later, then I would love for them to take Love here. That will be the one thing. If they're taking Simpson, I like that for them. Otherwise, I think they're just wasting a contract year on a rookie contract for a running back and paying him top 5 RB money. Personally,
well, the pick is in. I think that they should go after Reese. Go after a psychotic person. You need an animal on defense.
That's what I think they do. And if he doesn't work at edge, he's an off-ball linebacker. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. Micah Parsons' deal is looking better and better. There's really no superstars in this draft. I mean, of course, they can go out there and go crazy and prove me wrong, but I don't think there's a game changer on either side of the ball. Where they would have picked anyway, at 20, there isn't, you got Micah Parsons or pick 20. I'll take the proven killer. Give me Parsons every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, like, in terms of just prospect strength, how good were these guys in college? This is like the worst class ever. I mean, just being honest. But that doesn't mean that there won't be really good players that turn out to be really good. Nobody thought Puka Nacua was going to be the number 1 receiver, arguably, last year coming out of college. So there's going to be good players, but man, in terms of prospect strength, this is like the worst class like ever.
Yeah, I had a bunch of 2026
2013.
What's that?
Maybe since like 2013. I forget that year. It was bad.
The Eric Fisher pick. Eric Fisher. All right, let's see who the Cardinals take.
Yeah,
Walking the stage, folks. Rise up, Red Sea. They're like my second team. I live here, so I want them to do well. I've seen the Cardinals win a playoff game. I'll tell you about that in a second.
Bro.
I'll tell you about that.
Dude. Insane.
Let's see what he says. They took him.
Yeah.
Were you ahead of me?
It's like a couple seconds on the ESPN thing. I don't know, but dude, if they get Ty Simpson, I like this pick.
You think Ty the second round quarterback pick?
I think they move up into the first. I think he does go first round. I mean, there are worse prospects, in my opinion, that teams have decided. Kenny Pickett.
Right.
If Kenny Pickett is a first round quarterback, Ty Simpson is a billion times over a first round prospect.
Well, the desert's going to get trampled on, so
that's crazy.
Hey, man. Goodness. Look, we're going to see what Mike LaFleur is all about, and James Conner, like you said, I don't even know if those guys play. I don't know how I feel about this guy. I don't know how I feel about Love overall. I'm sorry, what?
I mean, they have Connor Benson. They signed Algier, too. I mean, man, that's a crowded – I mean, it's not a crowded backfield anymore. It's Jeremiah Love's backfield, but yeah. Wow. Man, that's crazy. That was not smoke, huh? Man. I mean, I think he's arguably a top 2 player in the class as far as just the most talented players. I think, Caleb Downs is up there.
Sometimes you just have to take the best player on the board.
Yeah.
There's all the Cardinals fans right there.
I wonder what they're thinking about that. I mean, at least you got a good player.
I'm in a group chat right here with half of them are Cardinals fans because I live in Arizona, and I'm in a group chat with them for the Dynasty League. And one person saying they should move their second for Mac Jones. and everybody's like, "This is fine." So no real uproar. So
Good
we'll
player.
see. Yeah, I mean,
in this class, I would give every single team way more of a pass of completely ignoring positional value and just getting somebody that is a good player.
like I said, yeah, sometimes you just gotta take the best player on the board and see what happens. So
Rest in peace to all those people that thought Tyler Algier was going to be the guy this year. That's not happening.
But like, think about it. So the Cardinals have question marks at quarterback. I don't know if Monty Osifort, he's the GM down here. I don't know what the long-term plan is for him because, I mean, this is his third draft. And he traded away pick 3 to Houston in the Bryce Young. That was his first draft. He traded away pick 3 to Houston, and they took Will Anderson, to pair with C.J. Stroud and trade it back. But later in that draft, the Cardinals got the offensive lineman from Ohio State, Paris Johnson, I think his name is. And he's been a great left tackle. So it hasn't blown up in his face. I really like Monty's vision for the Cardinals. It's just taking longer. I just think he hired the wrong coach.
You had Kyler Murray in there. I mean, how are you going to win when you have a 5'10" quarterback? I'm sorry. Like, just being 5'10" limits you so much. Like, the ceiling and floor are both lowered.
So he's closer to the floor than the ceiling. Is that what you're trying to say there? He's closer to the floor than the ceiling?
I mean,
that's right, folks. I make jokes. Sorry. I will get applause on my own jokes on my own show, damn it. I don't care what anybody says. You know what? I'll say this about Kyler. So I took my kid to see the Cardinals practice. They have the open practice. The practices are at the stadium. It's about 35 minutes away. And I just took him. And this was his rookie year. And I took him. I'm like, do you want to go? And we'll just go, because they serve the concessions all there. And he doesn't love football like that, but he's just like, let's just go. So we go, and, it's just your run-of-the-mill practice. And he decides to go to the gift shop, and he buys the team pack of you can go to the stadium and buy just a team pack of cards. And Kyler Murray's in there. It's his rookie season. At the end of the practice, Kyler Murray runs to our section and starts doing autographs.
That's cool.
So I told him, give him your card and see if he signs it. So he signed his rookie card.
Oh, yeah.
But my son doesn't understand the magnitude of who Kyler Murray was at the time. I'm like, this is not somebody that's not going to be around. This is the first. I explained to him how the draft worked. I go, every year the best college players go, and then the worst team gets the first pick, who they think is the best overall player. And I'll always be mindful that he did that for him, so I won't ever root against Kyler Murray. But I know what Kyler was when they played Tua and the Alabama Crimson Tide in the semifinals that year when Josh Jacobs just absolutely feasted on that defense. Not that I didn't do it with Kyler, but Kyler and CeeDee Lamb weren't enough to get over the hump. Or Hollywood Brown.
I mean, I think Bryce Young, for instance, is the ceiling of being a 5'10" quarterback, personally. You can't use the intermediate area in the middle of the field. You just can't. It just limits you in his offense, straight out the gate. And, if Bryce Young was 6'3", he'd be, in my opinion, one of the better quarterbacks.
Let's see what the Titans pick here. What do you think of the new uniforms? I kind of like that they've gone back to that style a little bit, that powder blue.
I love the powder blue. The powder blues I like the most were the Chargers back in the day. They're AFL ones, the retros. Those were nasty. Wow.
So there's your first receiver off the board, Ohio State.
That is insane. This guy went above Malik Neighbors in the draft. Think about that.
Look, you got to have somebody there. I mean, who do they got there? Wan'Dale Robinson, who's smaller, right?
This is the biggest overdraft I've ever seen.
Well, let's think about the team needs. All right, they got Calvin Ridley and they got Wan'Dale Robinson and they got a whole lot of nothing. So I don't hate it for them. I mean, it is a bit high at 4, but he wasn't your favorite wide receiver prospect.
I think he's a really solid number 2 receiver. A really good floor, really high floor. He will not be a bad player. I will be shocked if he's a bust. He has great hands,
Really good route running, attention to detail, understands the leverage. He just has no yak ability of any kind in any way, shape, or form. Struggles a little bit more versus press than you would believe, in my opinion. I think I think from a real life perspective, I think it makes sense that he's the number one receiver take in this draft because he's the surest thing as a boundary receiver, and that's way more valuable to teams because a lot of guys can play in the slot, but this guy averaged 35 yards per game versus ranked competition this year.
Attaboy. That's the kind of folks, that is why I have this man on the show. You hear this? This is the man who studies the prospects. You need to go subscribe to his channel. You need to follow his stuff. He puts out good content, puts all the work in. So that's kind of stuff that matters. I hate to say it a little bit, even though they've won the last 3 national championships in the Big Ten, I just don't feel that that's a strong conference because it's top heavy. It's Ohio State. People are going to see Indiana fall down this year. They're not going to want to do that. But it's just you got to prove it year in and year out. Like Michigan fell off with Harbaugh, and then Ohio State, they didn't fall off, but they had a lot of players graduate and go pro and stuff like that. It's hard to maintain that excellence. And then just there's more Purdue's in that conference than there are Ohio States. There's a Maryland. Nebraska's not great, You just got better competition in the SEC. I don't care that the Big Ten's won the last 3 title games. I'm just making a point.
Man, that's great for him.
But look at that. When you do that, that's against Texas now, and he cooked that dude. He cooked him from the line of scrimmage right there. That's a great highlight for him. Step and go. So you can do that. You get separation in the NFL. You'll have an outstanding career. Folks, we have 18 viewers tuned in right now. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Let's give you guys a round of applause. I apologize again for the issues that I've been having. But we are on pick number 5 for the New York Giants. Still no trades. Giants got 2 top 10 picks. I thought that was pretty good haul for Dexter Lawrence. But that kind of shows that the Bengals are serious about getting some help on that defensive front. I wonder if the Bengals make a move to try and get a pass rusher in this, but we'll see. So.
I forget the stat, but Dexter Lawrence has over 70 more pressures over the past, I believe it's 2 or 3 seasons, than the next best defensive tackle. He has, I believe, 103, and 38 is Vita Vea is the second best. That's how much better Dexter Lawrence is than any interior rusher in the entire league.
Yeah, and now he's out of New York, and I think the Bengals are going to bounce back next year. I do.
I hope not, but I bet they do.
I'm sure you don't. I love to hear it. That's good. That's good.
I wish
them just like I'm saying it now, and you're the perfect person to have on for what I'm about to say next. But and I've said it in our Dynasty chat how delicious that Chicago Bears 8-9 season is going to be, folks.
Especially with Drew Dahlman out. That really sucks for them.
Look, they got to play first place schedule now. And nobody talks about Caleb Williams throwing 5 picks in 2 playoff games. It's just glazed, though. It's just completely forgotten.
That's contextualized. You can contextualize that as some of them were arm punts on 4th down, for instance. I believe 2 of them were. And on the last one that lost them the playoff game against the Seahawks, DJ Moore didn't run the right route. So it's a little bit deceiving, but he did, to be fair, throw more interceptions. That is fair.
I would say, first of all, I'm going to correct you, it was the Rams. But
he ran the wrong route. They said that. I'm just telling you.
When you look at it, though, even if that's the wrong, I'll concede it, right? Because I'm not picking on Caleb when I say this. I'm not picking on him here, and I like to pick on him.
It's true, though. That's a fact.
No, I do love. I have to disclose it. I love picking on Caleb Williams. I like to do that in college, way before he even went to Chicago. Going to the Bears was just icing on the cake for my haterade, folks. But when you watch that play again, if you take the time to watch that play, you didn't have to make that throw. There's no defender there. I mean, there's no pass rush. He had a clean pocket, was not under duress, and he just made a bad decision to throw. I think that the blame goes 50-50 on that throw. Because if he's under duress and he's trying to make a play, that's different. I'll give a quarterback way more grace than
not an interception, though.
Huh?
I agree with the point if he didn't have to throw it, but if Moore runs the right route, that's not an interception. He had to dive for that to be an interception, so it's not as if he threw it straight to the guy. No, I mean, who cares? I'll concede that it was. I'll concede that he threw more picks that were his fault that he didn't need to than he did during the regular season. I do want to say that the total number of interceptions, if you're just stat watching, is a little bit deceiving. In terms of, like, there was one in the first playoff game where it was the 4th down. I mean, if he doesn't throw it, it's a turnover on downs. So I mean, like, it was this Rams game. It was actually the Rams game, that one. But
did you see the ticker there? Breaking news: the Browns have traded to Kansas City from 6, so the Browns are trading down.
I think they were going for Tate, and I think they're, for whatever reason, disappointed.
Interesting stuff. Let's change the music here a little bit.
Sounds haterish. It sounds haterish. I don't hate any of these receiver prospects. I just think, like, top 5 picks, dude, that should be a Neighbors. That should be an MHJ, a Chase. Like, Carnell Tate, I'm sorry. Like, what are we like? That's just this class, though. It's really this class. I don't want to sound like a hater. It's just people will use this. Wow, well, he went top 3, and it's like, but it's this class. That's such a terrible argument, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm a hater, but that is just true. I mean, drafting a receiver that's never had 900 yards in a collegiate season. Like,
I mean, we've seen crazier stuff, like,
dude, I'm sorry. That's insane.
That's Rocket Ishmael. Before I don't know if you were born, but before your time, Rocket Ishmael was a player for Notre Dame, and he was projected to go number 1 in the NFL draft, and he went to the CFL. Like, crazy stuff happened. Like, he opted out and went to Canadian football. What? And had a career there for a few years. He opted. He was going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. Number 1. It was undisputed. The Rocket. But then eventually he came to the NFL and played for the Raiders anyway. But
that's insane.
You're the first overall pick, and you're like, I'm going to go play.
Was the money better?
Football. I don't know. I have no idea. Back
then, think of what reason you would have to not want to play in the NFL.
Look, Heisman Trophy winner, number 1. I mean, the Rocket, dude. You get a nickname like that, you play at Notre Dame, and you're like, I'm going to go play in Canada. There's something screwy in Denmark, So
shout out to Canada, I guess.
I like Canadian football, but I wish they had 4 downs. Like, that's the only thing that makes it really hard for me is just 3 downs. You can't strategize. That'd be like baseball. You only have to get 2 outs. Like, you're taken away.
Wow.
So Reese goes to the Giants.
Dude, that front is insane. Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, for now, Kayvon Thibodeau, Arvell Reese. Dude.
But that's 4 pass rushers. None of those guys are really heavy on the inside. I think.
Wow.
I think Thibodeau might get traded.
You think? Well, and even if they do, you got to wonder if maybe they kind of have him and Carter in somewhat of a potential hybrid role between the two of them as off ball and potentially on edge. I think Arvell Reese might see more off ball than edge than people might believe. Wow. Do you think Caleb Downs? I think Caleb Downs has to be going here soon. I think people aren't going to – I don't think they're going to make the same mistake they made with Kyle Hamilton, which I was very thankful for as a Ravens fan. Oh, he's not really fast. That means he can't play safety. Well, I'm telling you, Caleb Downs is him.
I've got a little salt in my mouth about Caleb Downs. I mean, comes to Alabama, plays his freshman year down there, and then he just leaves when Saban leaves. Kind of salty about it, but then he spoke nicely of Alabama. He said it was different down there and stuff like that, but it's like, I wish he wouldn't have left. He was the one guy. He's the only guy that left that sucked for me. I didn't care that Bond left. I didn't care that, the center left. I didn't care that a lot of those guys left, but it's like, that's the one guy that I wish would have stuck around. But now I like what they're doing in the secondary. You're going to see a lot of great secondary players come out of Alabama. Wait till Dijon Lee goes pro and stuff like that. So the Chiefs did make the trade. And how do you think Kansas City does here? Think it's white out?
Man, Kansas City. Well, with the top 2 projected edge rushers gone, I think it makes no sense to trade up for the power rusher out of Miami with the arm length concerns. I'd be kind of surprised if that's what they did. I'm trying to think of who maybe they want tackle. Maybe they want Maui Noah.
Caden
I'm trying to
Proctor.
think or Proctor. Proctor. I mean, yeah, he's definitely has the athleticism. You know, the. I think he's a good fit if you want your guys moving in space because he's such a good athlete.
I'm going to scream bloody murder if the Detroit Lions take him, because I'm so tired of Alabama players going to Detroit. And not only that, but the fact that I know that Dan Campbell will put him out there in that wide receiver formation and stuff like that, because he did it in Alabama. Like, if Chicago or Detroit gets him, he's going to get his hands on the football. And I don't want to root against Alabama guys, but they keep going to the Lions. Or they keep going to the Eagles, like teams I don't care for. Like, stop going there.
Man, I just got a troll message that Cardinal Tate's better than Malik Neighbors from this guy because he got drafted higher. Now he's trolling on purpose. But that's the kind of BS I'm going to hear from people, and they're going to actually be serious. Wow. I can't believe this guy went 3rd overall in a draft. This guy's never had 900 yards in a season. He averages 35 yards per game versus ranked competition. Oh, the pick's going to be in here soon for the Chiefs. We'll see what they do. Who knows? Who knows what they do? I'm thinking tackle, man. If they go receiver, I'm trying to think of if they go receiver.
Well, they might go secondary because they traded McDuffie, right?
Yeah, so, if they do, I think Mansour Delane makes a lot of sense here out of LSU. I think he could be a reasonable replacement. He won't be McDuffie probably as a rookie, but you know, get a good cornerback prospect. I forget who's been. I think Jermon McCoy's been falling in mock drafts recently. I'm not sure if it would be him. I wonder if Caleb Downs actually. I wonder if it's Caleb Downs. I wouldn't be too surprised.
So the Browns
maybe trading up for a safety wouldn't make sense from a positional value standpoint, but once again, as far as this draft is concerned, I don't think that matters as much.
Well, the Chiefs really believe in their guy to trade up for him. I mean, the Browns got themselves a nice little hit there, and I will say that
Cleveland what the deal was?
Had a fantastic draft last year. They got the 3rd and the 5th and just moved back 3 spots, so there must be nobody that they loved that they're willing to move back a few spots. Remember last year they fleeced the Jaguars with the Travis Hunter deal. Like, that was just an overpay. And then the Browns drafted right. You know, they drafted an interior lineman, and then they drafted Corey Schlesinger.
Great pick, by the way.
Yeah, they cleaned house.
And stole the lane.
So there you go. Secondary.
Good pick. I like it. I believe he ran a 4.38, and from what I remember, the speed looks pretty good on field 2, and it kind of matches that. You know, some guys run a 4.2, and then they don't run that fast. Like Matthew Golden, for instance, I think he's pretty fast, but I don't think he runs 4.28 on the actual field. I think he's like a mid 4.3s kind of a a guy.
Yeah,
he's actually somebody that could be a breakout candidate this year.
So I've got a theory on the 40. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a theory on it. It's the dumbest measurement for a player. Because in the game of football, you do not run streaks. And if you do, you're going to have a man in front of you. You're not going to run a straight line uninterrupted in this game ever. I think your shuttle matters more. Your ability to cut. Your ability to catch. Because if everything was speed, the Raiders would have had everybody. They drafted Darius Hayward-Bay, who had, elite speed. They always had those fast guys, but they're not good for nothing if they can't get open. And I think that separation matters more. And they're like, well, how those go hand in hand. That's why I think that when you use the term route running, I'm a little suspect on it. It's separation. I think separation is what matters more. And that, you could run a crisp route, but a crisp route can also be defended well. Mm-hmm. And the crisp route running can help your quarterback and things like that. It's got a place. But I think separation is just the key to football when you're on a skill position like that. So we'll see. Right. And if you can shut that down, A great secondary. Like, who was, the best, really was the best was, Deion Sanders and Darrell Revis were absolute game changers at those positions where you had to, like he shut down Calvin Johnson. Like nobody could do that. There's a guy from Cincinnati in this draft from the Cincinnati Bearcats that's got the same measurables as Calvin Johnson. His name escapes me at the moment, though. Cincinnati Bearcats, folks. He's a wideout. I'm not going to Google it because my stream's been kicking on and off, but 6'5", big as a tank, runs fast. I'd love to see him in Lambeau. I was devastated that my boys traded Dontavian Wicks. I got to tell you, I was a real big fan of his. I couldn't believe he fell in the 5th round.
He gets open.
Draft.
He's one of the better separators in the entire league. If he had the hands to match it.
But he does, and then they gave up on him or something. I don't know what they were trying to do. I thought he, but I guess that Jaden Reed's going to be back, and we'll see. The Packers are going to look way different. They've got Tucker Kraft, and they've got Jaden Reed, and they got Watson.
Give Jaden Reed the ball, man. Give him the ball, please. He's so dynamic with the ball in his hands. Jet sweeps. Give him more rushing volume, even if you can't find targets.
Well, last year he got hurt. 2 injuries at the beginning of the year.
He scored a touchdown when he got hurt, and they took it away from him.
You ready for some replacement refs?
Dude, no kidding. Touchdown Seahawks, baby.
The refs, hey, listen, the refs that we're going to have in the NFL right now, they're in the UFL. And that's not a bad thing. I think
if they have replacements, that's good.
If those are the replacements, they've at least got reps.
Who are you finding that's a better option?
I mean, college referees are going to do college again, though. They're not going to leave that game. So you might as well take the UFL guys because they're not in season. Or you can get guys from the CFL. I don't know. But the CFL and NFL, that season overlaps.
Man, I just can't get over
Carnell Tate?
Carnell Tate. Like, that's just like you're drafting a wide receiver 2, 4th overall. That's insane. He's gonna be a pretty solid player. Like I'd be shocked if he's a bust. But man, no yak ability at all. Like struggles versus press, in my opinion. I know Matt Harmon has him graded really high against press. I see more inconsistencies against press personally.
Who do you think the commies take here? I mean, they got problems everywhere. That team really fell apart last year. I think they got to get some more protection for Jaden Daniels.
Styles, if I had to guess. Off-ball linebacker Bobby Wagner is going to be like 36. They could use a green dot in the middle of the field. Personally, maybe Caleb Downs, but I'd probably roll with Sonny Styles given how ridiculous of an athlete he is. He's always around the ball. Yeah, I mean, I think you just need a leader.
So that's 2 Ohio State players gone in the top 10.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I mean, there are only so many players I think they could realistically that made sense for their team needs. And he can learn from Bobby Wagner. I mean, that's a great mentor, man.
It's been a long time since we've seen like an elite linebacker that I can think of go in the first round.
Devin White was a good prospect.
Huh?
Devin White was a really good prospect out of LSU, I believe, back in the day. I'm trying to Keekly maybe, but that's a long time ago. Yeah.
Ryan Urlacher is really one that comes to mind. And he played some safety.
So did Sonny Styles, just like you're going to mention. Yeah. Yep.
That's great pursuit there and finding a gap on a sweep left there. Like they're just showing the highlights. I mean, of course, you're going to see their best plays, but it's just like, like you said, that's a position where you're calling the plays. You don't have to be the most athletic at your linebacker. You need to have your linebackers will thrive if your pass rush can get home. Like with the Bears back in the 90s or back in that 2000s era when they had Devin Hester, they ran that cover 2 so well because they had Alex Brown and Ted what's his name Ted Washington and Keith Traylor, those 2 big boys up front, and Ogunleye on the other side. and that freed up Briggs and Hillemeyer and Urlacher in the secondary, and Charles Tillman and Nathan Vasher on the other side, and Mike Brown. Like, that's why they were so good. Those guys were able to elevate their games because they were making the quarterbacks uncomfortable. All right, Saints are in. What do you think New Orleans does here? I think that they're going to go wide receiver. I think this might
they
be
go Mekhi Lemon.
I think we're having some lemonade down there in the bayou.
I love the fit. I mean, Olave can win as a boundary for them. And to be fair, I think that Olave can play X in 2 wide receiver sets if they need to, while Mekhi Lemon plays Z off ball.
Well, they did trade Rashid Shaheed, so Shaheed is out, and I don't think they got anybody else that they like. I mean, they had that A.T. Perry. I thought might have done something, but another tall, skinny guy. But
yeah, I think you have Chris Olave, good possession player, really good route running in terms of, once again, separation, really precise with his landmarks, for instance. And then you get Mekhi Lemon in there, who can be more of your yak threat off the line of scrimmage. He's not necessarily the best against press. He's fine, but not your X most likely. But man, help out Tyler Shuck, who looked, considering they had no run game and only Chris Olave, Tyler Shuck looked pretty good.
Yeah, he kind of stepped it up at the end of the year. I thought Spencer Rattler, actually, I didn't think he did terrible either. I didn't.
He's just more of a check down merchant, but he was safe with the ball.
He's from right here in Chandler, Arizona. Got 2 quarterbacks in the NFL from around here. You got Brock Purdy from Queen Creek and Spencer Rattler's from Chandler, and Arizona's got a little hotbed of players, man, like Christian Kirk's from down here. You know, Jane Daniels went to school here for a year at ASU.
They hated him after he left, huh?
Oh, well, the way he left was...
You blame him for wanting to play with Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas? They weren't big names at the time in which he transferred, obviously.
No, I think it's because, if I remember right, and I could be wrong, I think he vowed he was going to stay, and then he bailed for Brian Kelly. Like, that's just a heel move. That's a great. If you want heel heat in professional wrestling, and you just want to do it on a collegiate level, that's exactly how you do it. You get them to hate you both sides of the ball.
Man, I love that pick for the Commanders, though, man. Get a future green dot for the next, hopefully, 10 years, maybe more. A lot of versatility. Sideline to sideline speed is insane. From I believe he ran a 4.46, which, once again, we've talked about 40-yard dashes, but I do think it's representative more so of his actual on-field speed, too. It does show up on the tape. But yeah, I think we go receiver here. If they don't go receiver, I'm trying to think. They could maybe use offensive line, help improve the offensive line, but I'd be pretty confident it's either Tyson or Lemon, and I think I'd go Lemon if I was them.
Look, they've already got Mendoza in a commercial.
Well, they gave him the playbook. If they gave him the playbook and didn't pick him, that'd be like one of the dumbest things they could have done.
We'll see what he does. Oh, he updated his LinkedIn. That's right, because he did the LinkedIn thing. I guess he had his LinkedIn as I'm in college until, didn't put no kind of crazy stuff up there. So we're almost at pick 10 here. I kind of like the accelerated pace. Keep it going. We don't need to go too much into detail. This is like the one thing that holds NFL fans over until training camp starts and the preseason starts. And that's when you have your redraft leagues and all that stuff with fantasy football. And that's my man's got a fantasy football strategist hat, so I'm going to have to get me one of those. Yeah, I've got an all-time 22 dynasty hat up there, but Bobby's been he's been busy with some things, so he's not joining us now. He's in the middle of a move.
I haven't heard from him in forever.
Huh? Yeah, he's all right. I check on him, but he's just moving some things around. So if you're watching, Bobby, we love you. We're going to have – hopefully he gets established so we can do our SEC preview show again. That was a whole lot of fun with him. I really enjoyed that. But he does all the graphics and stuff like that, so he's got time for it. But he's got kids and stuff, so I get if he can't do it this year. I'm going to have to figure out another way. But yeah, like I was saying before we started the broadcast, or right when we started, is had some really good a 1-year rebuild, like traded all those assets away and got great players. not just good players, great players. Because sometimes you got to do the less Snead, and say F them picks. If the player's good, if it's come on, I got Jamar Chase and Puka Nakua on a team, and Malik
And
Neighbors.
Neighbors is your third receiver. That's ridiculous.
I mean, I paid some prices though. I had to pay for some IDP. I forked over one of those firsts for Malik Willis to have my third quarterback. Like
that could go really well in your favor. He had the most average rushing yards of any quarterback last year in a game, and that is exactly what you want for fantasy. Even if he's not great, which I think he's a pretty good quarterback, even if he's not great, he could be Justin Fields for you in fantasy.
Oh,
which is great for fantasy. Say what you want. Like same thing with Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson, when he actually played, he was a top 5 upside quarterback every single week.
So here's what I got on this team. This is what I've managed to rake in with all these players. All right.
Yeah.
So my quarterbacks are Love, Ward, and Malik. My running backs are Jonathan Taylor and Jahmyr Gibbs. Neighbors, Chase and Puka. My other running back is Breece Hall. I've got Kyle Pitts, but then on the bench it gets really thin. I got Jaden Higgins, I got A.O. Maynor, and then it really gets thin. Like injuries will do me in. All right, let's see who the Saints pick here.
I'll be curious. That's a really good starting lineup.
But I got no depth and I got no picks for the next 2 years, really. I got some 4th rounders in there, but
my wide receiver 1. I believe in this guy.
So you're like 15 seconds ahead of me because they just said his name.
Here, you want to both refresh at the same time and maybe it
No,
has
it's okay. It's okay. It's all good. Jordan
I'll wait
Tyson.
for you to say something in the future, so now I'll know.
No, that's fine.
I like the pick.
That's fine.
I
Hang
like
on one
the pick.
second. Hang on 1 second. Keep them going here. I'll be right back.
Yeah, so with Jordan Tyson, he's somebody that's inconsistent on a per route basis, but has really good leaping ability, really good ball tracking ability, can make really tough grabs. Sometimes I think he arguably tries to make grabs look more difficult for the highlight reel, but the upside is absolutely there. I comped him to kind of a combination of Stephon Diggs and Jerry Jeudy. I think he's really good at creating quick separation. Not really much of a yak guy, so he's kind of a little bit redundant with Olave in that sense.
Yeah.
But the flashes of upside, it would not shock me at all if he was by far the best receiver in this class. Like if he stays healthy, he has wide receiver 1 written all over him, and this class is really lacking wide receiver 1s. I think his upside case is significantly better than Carnell Tate's. But I think that Carnell Tate is a much safer player.
Well, maybe that explains why they took him at a higher pick. I mean, sometimes you just got to rationalize what's best for your football team. We don't know. We don't know. I'm also moving off of Tyson here. I think the Browns take Caleb Downs and just have the most elite defense in the AFC. Folks, listen, my guy here is a Ravens fan. When you got Myles Garrett and Schlesinger and Graham, and then you had Caleb Downs, and your secondary is just get Caleb Downs in there. Like that would make the Browns. And jokes aside, if Deshaun Watson just has a good season, just a good season, if he throws for 3,500, if he throws for 3,500 with 30 touchdowns and 10 picks or less, the Browns are going to be a playoff team. There's no doubt in my mind. They've got Judkins, they could be wide receiver. They could probably use a wideout too. But if I'm them, I'm taking Caleb. Well, maybe I'm not. I mean, they traded down once. I mean, they might get that wide receiver from Texas Tech, but that dude's always like getting hurt. We'll see.
Yeah, man. I mean, with Jordan Tyson,
if he didn't have injury concerns, like he would be the unanimous wide receiver 1 of the class, and it wouldn't even be close. This wouldn't even be a debate at all. Really good player though. Just that's the thing. Even the wide receiver 1, in my opinion, of this class, subjectively, no yak ability. That's the thing about I do like about Lemon, is that he's kind of like an Amon-Ra type of player in terms of how I think he'll be best utilized.
Thanks for joining, Matthew.
That's my brother.
Of course, his name is Jordan. That's your brother?
Yeah. So, funnily enough, Matthew, he is not a yak guy, but he's a very good player. Really good separation skills. If you saw that those reps he put up the other day that were kind of flaring up on X, the cutting ability is ridiculous. Somebody put him side by side with Justin Jefferson running a zig route. Yeah.
That's my second favorite route. My first is a stick.
Mm-hmm.
Just because the stick, if you run RPOs with a stick route from the tight end, that creates so much chaos, and like defensively, you just can't scheme it because there's 4 different options, and you just have to figure it out. It's just crazy. The RPO is really kind of stagnated football because you just have to pick something. And it's made some quarterbacks look better than they are. Huh?
The spacing concepts, too. Man, I got to think, who do the Browns go with?
I think it's Caleb. I think it is. Because they're not going to go quarterback this year, I
think Caleb Downs is arguably a top 3 talent in this class. Him and Jeremiah Love, and then
maybe they go Lemon.
Maybe Sonny Styles too is up there.
No, I'm saying Lemon might be the pick.
He might be.
They got
I wouldn't
Judy.
mind that at all.
What do they got? Judy. They got Elijah Moore there still, and they got Isaiah Bond.
Yeah, they have a wide receiver 3 as their wide receiver 1. So we'll see.
So they picked an offensive lineman.
Spencer Fano. Interesting.
I wonder. Got a big old Roman Reigns Simone going on there, so it might make a tribal chief protecting Deshaun Watson, because he's going to win the job. Deshaun Watson's going to win that job. I don't doubt it for a second. If I'm the Browns, I'm like, look, I'm paying you all this money. You're going to go out there and play, and if you stink, we're going to draft Arch Manning, or there's other quarterback prospects in the next draft, because I don't think Shador is going to be it. And I
pray he doesn't go to Cleveland. Please don't let Arch go to Cleveland, please. Jerry Jeudy is their wide receiver 1. I'm sorry.
But hold on.
Let's
hold on. All right, so
you're saying Harold Fannin? Because he's their wide receiver 1, let's be honest.
Here's the thing about Jeudy. I didn't think he was going to be a wide receiver 1 in the NFL, even though he was great at Alabama. But
are you going to use the Jameis Winston inflation stats argument?
It kind of makes sense because they weren't like out of games when they were doing that. Like they were still playing hard football and he was excellent. Like you can't throw it for 400 yards as many times as he did there, and the defense can't do a lick. Like you got to give some credit. If one side's just if you're getting 400 yards offensively throwing it through the air, it's not inflating. You're making plays. It's not like all that stuff happened in the second half either, if you go back and watch that. And I'm not a Jameis guy either, but when Jameis is out there, he does move the offense. He does.
Hyperbole. I love Jameis Winston. He's the best. He is the kingmaker of fantasy receivers. He will chuck it like it does not matter, and it doesn't to him. But yeah, man, that's going to be rough for whoever goes there next year. Since they didn't. Well, I take it back. If they go receiver with their next first, I forgot they had 2. If they get like a Casey Concepcion, Denzel Boston, somebody that can be at least a wide receiver 2, I don't hate it for whoever they take next year.
So the Giants picked another Samoan, huh? So we got back-to-back Solo Sikoa, and then we got Roman Reigns. I'm just kidding, folks. I'm just having a little fun here. Don't take what I say seriously. Maybe the Usos will get picked later in the first round. Start eating. Don't eat in public, folks. Whatever you do, don't eat. That's something you shouldn't do in public. If you're going to do it, you got to do it right.
You saw the Giants pick?
It's another. Is it another Samoan?
Yeah, Francis Mauigoa.
Yeah.
I like the pick.
So Miami trades up.
Andrew Thomas has been hurt time and time again, who is a very good left tackle when healthy. They just signed Illuminor to an extension, but this gives them serious backup options at tackle for when they deal with injuries, and he can slot in at guard for them immediately. They had some of the worst guard play in the entire league last year. I love that pick for them. Build up the trenches. I'll be right back.
I don't know. 350 pounds. Looks like he'd rather have a pina colada. We'll see. You can go out there and be tough, though. But, folks, we have wrapped up the top 10. And it looks like Miami's up. And then it looks like Dallas has already got their pick in. So, Dallas... Oh, I'm sorry. Did Dallas trade up there? I didn't catch it. So, Dallas Cowboys got back-to-back picks here? Sorry, I got to go by the feed on what I'm watching here, and they're still showing the Giants pick. So it looks like Dallas has moved up and traded ahead of Miami and moved back. So we got to see what they're going to do as far as where the picks land after all the swapperoonies that are going on. So we traded up, Miami traded up, and then traded back one spot to Dallas. So the Dallas Cowboys, they might go for lemon here and see what happens with the franchise on George Pickens. So interesting with Dallas. A lot of people like to pick on Dallas Cowboys. So while you were out, Miami moved down a spot, and Dallas is on the clock.
What if they take lemon right in front of the Dolphins?
That's what I was just saying, and I think that. So if they do that,
they trade Pickens.
Dak Prescott will throw for 5,000 yards.
They have to trade Pickens if they don't have to, but with him signing that franchise, they can trade Pickens now, and that makes you wonder.
Well, who would take him?
For the Dolphins would. The Patriots probably would.
Let's just pump the brakes here, right? I think that with George Pickens, you do get yourself some behavior. To his credit, last year he didn't have any, and he played. I mean, there was one play though, they were playing Arizona, Monday Night Football, and they're down by 2 possessions, right?
Is that when he gave up?
Huh?
Is that the game he gave up?
No, he didn't give up. He makes a great play, and then he shows the ball. Like, he makes the catch, he gets the first down, and then just shows the ball to the defensive back and gets a 15-yard penalty.
It's the dog in him.
Just get in the huddle. Like, it's the fourth quarter, too. It's not like you're not going to impress anybody. You're going to hurt your own team. And I think that stuff like that, those kind of characteristics matter actually a lot more, in my opinion, than athletic ability at certain positions. You got to have your head right. People want to know why Alabama was so good in college all those years. It's because Saban had their head screwed on right. He had them buy into his way, or you were off the team. I believe that. Like, you see it with Kirby Smart too. But like Georgia, you get guys getting arrested. Georgia has more arrests than draft picks.
Well, it's a prerequisite before you receive a scholarship that you have to have at least one car issue, one driving issue.
Guess where Pickens went to college?
No kidding, huh? Yeah. It's a prerequisite. As silly as that might sound. You have Jalen Carter.
Stop giving him cars, man. Stop doing it. If you go to Georgia, you got to find another way. Go to Georgia Tech if you want a car. Or at least if you go to Georgia Tech, you'll be an engineer and you'll make really good money because that's where the smart kids go. That's like the Vanderbilt of the ACC.
Pat McConkey and Brock Bowers, there's 2 surprisingly high character people that came from them.
Remember, Tim Tebow was the only one a character on those Urban Meyer teams in Florida. I mean, they had Aaron Hernandez and Riley Cooper and all those guys that got in trouble down there. Percy Harvin.
Oh, did Riley Cooper get in trouble in college? I know what he did at the NFL level. I know about that. Yeah, that's they're kind of the Raiders of the of college football to a degree.
Well, Florida
Maybe
ain't
the
been
Bengals.
nothing since. Florida had one good team since then, and they made the SEC championship and almost beat Alabama. But they had Kyle Pitts, Kadarius Toney,
God mode.
but they didn't
Kyle
have the quarterback play with Kyle Trask.
Trask.
Wasn't good enough. Yeah, he wasn't good enough to beat an Alabama defense. And that was when Bryce Young was there and Mechie and Jamison Williams. You weren't gonna match the matchups weren't there. And Florida was good that year, but other than that season, they really haven't been much of anything. Anthony Richardson got way too much hype for his game against Utah or whatever it was.
He wasn't good in college.
No, I couldn't believe.
Why
that
would
the
you
Colts
expect
took
him to be good at the NFL level? That's harder.
He was like you're talking about Tate being picked too high. Anthony Richardson was the same thing. The thing is, Anthony Richardson should have stayed in college another year.
Yes.
Quarterbacks need to get as many reps as they can. That's the thing about Ty Simpson.
1 year starter. Yep.
We're gonna see, but
Hey, if Kenny Pickett is a first round pick, then he is definitely a first round pick. I'm just saying. Small hands, Kenny Pickett.
If Ty Simpson falls to round 2, I think the Cardinals take him. But you know who might take him? I think the Steelers might take him because I don't think Aaron Rodgers can come back. I don't. So let's see what they gave up. So they gave up a couple fifths to move up one spot.
If the guy they wanted Tyson, I bet.
Well, we're gonna see. But now that if Pickens signed that franchise tag, who's gonna pay it? That's what I'm thinking. Where would he go? Who's got the cap? You know who could use him?
The Patriots could easily pay that. The Dolphins could easily pay that.
The Tennessee
Titans could also easily pay that.
But they need him.
George Pickens though. Except Carnell Tate's like George Pickens if you remove all the yak ability.
Caleb Downs to the Cowboys.
Great pick. And he only gave up. I mean, were the Dolphins going to take him? They could. I wouldn't blame them. They just need talent literally just about everywhere.
Well, Dallas's defense has always been kind of lately just been squirts, man. They really have not been a good defensive football team. They haven't been able to stop anybody, anytime, anywhere. The Packers, they talked about when Jordan Love went down there in that year that they were the 1 seed, that Dallas was the 1 seed or 2 seed or whatever. They put their foot in their rear end. They were saying how undersized the Cowboys were, especially at the linebacker position. So this guy would be a massive upgrade for them. That's 3 Ohio State players in the top 12. So, I mean, they were a national championship team 2 seasons ago. I mean, and he's going to a place, a lot of people like to pick on Jerry Jones, and I'm indifferent to the Cowboys. I'm indifferent to most football teams. I'm indifferent to a lot of them. Unless you're the Bears or the Vikings, when it comes to the end of the 49ers, I'm really indifferent to you. And a lot of people like to make fun of Jones, like I said, but at least that dude cares about winning. They may not be doing it, but he does care about it. He cares about that team. I mean, he invests in that team. He invests in his players. He pays them pretty good. I mean, he's not really been known to be stingy, but with Micah, he was going to break the bank, and he couldn't afford it.
He always waits a year too late. It's the same thing with the Bengals. It's the same thing with all these teams. They wait a year too late. You will pay more to this player by waiting a year to pay them than if you just pay them now. You will pay less in the long term. What don't these people understand?
I think the Packers did that with Christian Watson. They paid him another year. They didn't have to because he's got injury issues. But then he came on later and, he's really just tears it up out there. I didn't think he was going to pan out. I thought he was a reach for the Packers. I thought there were better players out there than him, but when he's in there, man, he produces. He produced under Rodgers that rookie year, and he's produced when he's in there. I mean, just throwing the ball, he gets it. But I think, with Green Bay, that offensive line is going to be the Achilles heel, I think. But we're going to see, losing Elgton Jenkins.
When is your center supposed to be back?
Huh?
When is your center hurt for the long term? I forget what injury he had.
No, Jenkins is I think they cut him.
Oh, did they?
So it's Sean Rehan is going to be the center. I think the Packers are going to go line again
You'd hope
because they got
so.
Morgan. But the thing is with the Packers is, they'll have Tucker. Like again, if the Packers didn't lose Tucker Kraft and Micah Parsons last year, I think that they make an NFC Championship game. And Parsons won't be back for the home opener or for the kickoff. So I hope they put the Bears and the Packers on Thanksgiving this year. Let's do that in Chicago. Let's do it on national
That'd
TV.
be
Let's
great.
make it the night game after
Everyone
everybody.
can perp stomp them on national television.
Listen, hey,
That's
listen.
good.
I'll tell you what. if you're down, if they schedule that, we'll do the live stream.
Oh, you already know. I'm down to do a live stream for one of those games, regardless.
It just, I couldn't believe it. But anyway, it's gonna be. Their 8-9 upcoming season is gonna just absolutely hit like probably like a heroin addict when he gets his fix for me, because it's just gonna be so amazing.
It's gonna be the same thing for the Patriots, dude. I mean,
The
like,
Bears, but this is different because this is different for me because
at
Bears
least
fans
Caleb
just
has to
have
play
been
hard teams in
relentless.
his own division.
I mean, they won the division.
No team in the Bears and no team in the NFC North is a bad team. Like none of them are a bad team. At least the Patriots, even though they're going to get the harder schedule, first place schedule, their Bills is the only team they have to worry about. I'm just saying.
Well, they got Ramondre Stevenson, who actually picked it up in the playoffs. All right, Miami, who you taking here? We're about a third of the way through the draft, folks. An hour, 18 minutes into the live stream. This might go long, man.
I think they have to go receiver, right? I mean, they could use literally anything, to be fair.
Well, they traded Waddle, so
if they don't get receiver, like, what are you doing to Malik Willis, dude?
the offensive line. So they got offensive line that never hurts.
You're going to protect him at least, even if he has Malik Washington as his wide receiver one.
Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, that is the first Alabama Crimson Tide player to come off the board. What does he say here?
Incredible athlete.
Trade Pickens to the Ravens. They're really bad.
Please trade him to the Ravens. Thank you. That would be great.
Who
I
do you
don't
think
know
the
how much
49ers are
Lamar-
taking in the first round?
Oh, if they could somehow, I think they could take interior offensive line. They could potentially take tackle for somebody to take over for Trent Williams long term.
Yeah.
That'd be really good.
He just re-upped for 2 years. So
Well, availability's been an issue, but really talented player, even at like age 36, I think he is now.
yeah. Matthew, thank you for the comments, bud. I appreciate you joining the stream.
Shout out to you, Matthew. You are the GOAT.
The GOAT with capital G, baby. Oh, look, there's my boy Jalen Milroe and Jam Miller. Jam Miller was the most frustrating running back we've had at Alabama, in my opinion. And, again, it goes back to the offensive line issues. But a part of it is, man, that dude just looked for contact. He couldn't break a tackle to save his life. Look at Ty go. Look at the Caden out there in the outside. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm glad Chicago and Detroit didn't pick him because they'd be doing good. Look at him. Like, look at that. Look at the big man. Take it deep.
Okay, I'm calling it Makai Lemon to the Rams.
That's right. Look at this man. He says, "I am the GOAT." And when you say you're the GOAT, I'm going to give you the round of applause, my friend. I don't have any GOAT sounds handy, so I will give you a round of applause, Matthew. Thank you. That's right. We appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you. Everybody, all 19 of you, looks like most of you are on probably X, but I don't care. You guys are hanging out. There's so much draft coverage going on out there, but I like to have a little fun on this show. So,
Makai Lemon, I'm calling it. If it's not, then
well, the Rams are on the clock. You say it's Lemon?
I think so, because there's been a lot of speculation of Devontae Adams being traded. And now Makai Lemon isn't an X, but they can put a sacrificial X in there while Nakua and Lemon are put in motion constantly. Or even Nakua can play X if they need to from time to time. But I think, with McVay, it's a non-conventional offense. They use a ton of motion. Stafford is such an MVP level processor that they can really do. I mean, they made do without Devontae Adams at X for a couple years anyways.
Yeah.
Back when all they had was Cooper Kupp. So Sean McVay will be fine regardless, but I would love that for them. And I'd love it if they kept Adams. Man, a 1-2-3 of Adams, Nakua, and Lemon, that's nasty.
Yeah.
I mean, what else could they use? They could maybe use offensive
tight
line.
end is pretty good too.
Yeah. I mean, they could use maybe offensive line. They had a really good front last year. I mean, they acquired cornerback already. So I don't think they need corner necessarily. With Caleb Downs gone, I don't think there's... I mean, I guess you could make a case for McNeil Warren or Thieneman, potentially.
Yeah.
Add some versatility to their... somebody that can play in the box or potentially as a middle field if they need. But I think Lemon goes here. If not,
how about Ty Simpson?
Maybe.
Listen, hear me out.
That'd be great.
Yes.
Dude, that would be amazing.
He could sit.
That would be awesome.
You
couldn't ask for a better situation long term.
And then Stafford is winding down. I think he's one hit away on his back. When he missed all that training camp last year because of that injury, that reminds me of the injury that Tony Romo ended his career on. Like when your back crumples like that, eventually you got to call it a day. So
that'd be awesome. You could not ask for a better long-term spot, basically.
Yeah.
Learn from Matthew Stafford, who's aging, so you'll get your shot in due time. Yeah, buddy. Sean McVay.
Do what the Packers did with Jordan Love and with Aaron Rodgers. Like, you got your guy. Let your guy sit. He doesn't have to take abuse, And he comes from a pro-style kind of offense down there at Alabama, and but we'll see. Like you said, the limited reps are what hurts Ty more than anything. And he got the green room invite. So, Jalen Milroe got the green room invite. I thought that was a bit much. I mean,
he's a really good athlete. Good athlete.
Jalen Milroe, I mean, God.
I'm surprised he didn't get in the game more on, short yardage zone read type things with Kenneth Walker.
That's what you want to use him for now. Is he? I don't know if we're going to see Sam Darnold keep this up. I'm going to say that too. He looked a little shaky in the playoffs. He had 3 interceptions in the Super Bowl just dropped. 3 of them. That's why I say turnovers are so fickle.
It was the easiest Super Bowl ever, though. I mean, Bo Nix got hurt, or otherwise, I think the Broncos are in the Super Bowl against him, whether or not they win, as opposed to the Patriots. Patriots had a red carpet laid out for them to the Super Bowl.
I got a theory on Bo. All right, your daddy was a legend at Auburn, and then you go to Auburn and you can't hack it, so you run out west. And then you run off that kind of offense, way late into your career and have these great players, but you couldn't get it done. If you leave the SEC and downgrade in competition, I'm skeptical until you prove it. You know who else did that? Malik Willis. Same thing. Goes to Auburn, can't hack it, goes to Liberty.
He was a nasty runner.
I mean, I don't know. I'm real cynical.
I think it's the same thing.
I don't like transfer quarterbacks that transfer down. Quarterback, if you transfer down in conference play, if you leave a power conference and go down, or you go to a weaker conference, at that time it was the Pac-12, what are you doing?
That's what I liked about Cam Ward. Level up, level up, level up, level up. He never ended up in the SEC, sure, but level up, and he dominated every single time.
I think he's going to be an elite quarterback, and I thought he was the right pick for the Titans last year. I do. I know you said what was the separation? We didn't get a chance to get to it, but what was the separation between him and whoever else? I thought he was a better prospect than Jackson Dart.
Yeah, as a prospect.
And Jackson Dart, played at Ole Miss, and you're running that Lane Kiffin offense over there. So you don't know. You just don't know. Offense. But Jackson done well for himself.
if you were an advanced stats guy and you didn't watch any film, Trey Harris was the best receiver prospect we've had in like 10 years. But janky offense, Mickey Mouse offense.
It's kind of wild that Ole Miss didn't win some of these games that they had. I mean, they had a team with A.J. Brown, Elijah Moore, and DK Metcalf were all on the same team, and they could not win the SEC. It's just crazy.
Elijah Moore was their wide receiver 3 behind Metcalf and Brown. No.
Oh!
Dude, that is the best possible scenario. That is amazing for him. I like him more than Mendoza now. For the long term. He won't play right away. I like him more than Mendoza for the wow. Ty Simpson to the Rams. He's going to get to sit. He's going to be with McVay for the long term. Oh my goodness. He's going to learn from like Matthew Stafford. I mean, dude. That is awesome.
That's a smart pick.
Wow. Great for him. Wow. I personally, I like Ty Simpson more than I like Mendoza now. And I think Mendoza is going to be great or pretty good. I like the spot for him too. It's going to be the same thing where they both get to sit for the, immediately at least. Wow. That is, you couldn't ask for a better spot.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. No way. They did that. You called that too. No way. No.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is why you tune in to Justin Paul Sports, because I've just got a crystal love. Ladies and gentlemen, he's made an appearance. Let's give it up for Bobby from Bobby's Big Board. The return will be soon. I love to hear it, Bobby. We got an SEC show we got to do, friend. We got Ty Simpson going to the Los Angeles Rams.
Great pick.
He goes from Tuscaloosa, Alabama to Los Angeles, California in the first round.
And if he didn't get hurt, he wouldn't have been here for them to take down this far. Wow, that's a great pick, man. No way. He's going to be probably, I'm going to say this now, he is likely to be the biggest riser in terms of pre-landing spot ADP and rookie drafts to post-draft landing spot ADP. This guy arguably should be. This guy could arguably go 102 to 103, and I wouldn't fault you in a mock draft. Jeremiah Love is still the 101 because he's so talented with top 3 draft capital. But man, if you took Ty Simpson in your rookie drafts, I'm not kidding, 102, I would not blame you at all. That's insane. That's a great landing spot. Especially with Carnell Tate going to the Titans where, the target competition is non-existent. That'll be good for him, but I just don't like that for him. I think Cam Ward's fine. It's not a Cam Ward indictment at all. And then Mikhail, you have Jordan Tyson. He's going to be the wide receiver 2 behind Olave. So not bad or anything, but man, that's insane, dude. If you have Nakua in Dynasty, I think you have a lot less to be worried about now than you did before this selection in terms of long-term prospects.
So I'm in another Dynasty league, and I happen to type Ty to the Rams, who said no, on my Deke arch nemesis in that league. Immediately says no, and then somebody else called him something I can't repeat on the air, so I just screenshot it and said it right back to him. Everybody's laughing at him.
He's a crazy 49ers fan. He is a son of a gun. I'll tell you that much. Right. He's a cool dude, though.
I like engaging with him because he takes the bait every single time. He just can't help himself.
Neither can I, to be fair.
I mean, the 49ers haven't won a Super Bowl since pre-Aaron Rodgers' career.
Ravens pick is in. All right, I'm calling this. It's gonna be guard out of Penn State. I think it's going to be the guard out of Penn State.
All right, well, you get that little you tell me if it's an applause or if it's a boo.
I'll be able to tell you pretty much right away. Unless it's somebody I've never heard of, in which case it's probably not an applause. And I'd be surprised if it's not somebody I've heard of. Okay, come on, guys. What are we going to do? Pick is in. Come on, Goodell. Hurry the hell up. Oh, my God. Let's see. Let's see.
All right.
Let's see. Did I call this?
Goodell's up there smirking.
Did I call this from before? Did I call this from before the beginning of the draft? Yep. Ione out of Penn State. I've called that from before the draft started. Let's go. Yes, sir. Yes. We need interior presence on the offensive line. Our short yardage situations were terrible. I mean, when we have Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson and we can't convert in short yardage situations, what are we doing? Obviously, Linderbaum being gone is terrible for the interior, the center position. This is a great pick. Yes, there was not a better pick with what we had available. Yes, sir. Great pick. Another thing, he has the athleticism to be able to pull around the edge, which we like to run. Every now and then we like to run those tosses to Henry for whatever reason, because God forbid we get him north-south. But he can still do it. But he also brings the power on some of those traps that I would like to see too. It'll be interesting to see what we do without Monken on offense and with Minter as kind of a more defensive-minded head coach. But
did you just see the highlight against Minnesota? The receiver just shoved him down. I know the highlight's on the offensive lineman there, but he just shoved the defensive back and grabbed the ball. Like, God damn, how do you miss that as an official? That's not going for the – he pushed the corner. Did you see it? Pushed him right in the chest, and they didn't call that. I'd be screaming. If I was the coach, I'd be screaming at that. By the way.
This is a good draft.
I'm going to throw you another curveball here. Carson Beck. Does he go in round one somewhere here? Or does he go to Arizona tomorrow?
Did you see the Gruden piece on him? Do you watch his Gruden videos, the QB camp?
I didn't watch it on him, no.
Okay, he's kind of a more reserved guy, which is okay. Ty Simpson wasn't, the most loud, outspoken guy, but he was more, outspoken and kind of a leader type, a conventional leader for what it's worth. Carson Beck just seems kind of like a reserved introvert kind of guy, and I don't know what that's like in the locker room.
Well, there's some things that go.
You're not a good thrower of the ball. I get it, but
hold on. I will say this in his defense: he's played a lot of championship football and's got a lot of snaps. He played and successfully played in the SEC. And I'm not going to dog him for going to Miami because the money was right and his girlfriend was down there. And he's still playing the national championship game and nearly won it. So
he has a lot of experience losing there, right? Twice.
At Georgia or at Miami?
Didn't he lose in two consecutive?
Well, they beat Notre Dame in the opener, and then they won the ACC. No, they didn't win the ACC. Duke won the ACC in that wild game against Virginia. The ACC was a big old cluster, but Duke lost on tiebreakers or somehow in conference play. But
what are your thoughts on how they rank these teams?
I think a grossly unpopular opinion amongst my college football fans, I think you need to have a 16-team tournament. 16. You're still the top 10% of your teams are making the playoff. I don't think there should be an automatic bid. I don't think you should have a conference championship game, right? And you just do the top 16 teams. If that means 10 SEC teams or 10 Big Ten teams get in there, then it counts. Because then, if you get rid of the auto bids, then your strength of schedule matters. And this was my tangent going last year, was Indiana has the worst schedule again this year. They do. I mean, they do. They didn't play anybody. They nearly lost to Penn State on the road, and if it wasn't for that miracle catch in the end zone, they lose in Happy Valley when James Franklin's fired. I mean, they beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game, and then they beat them again. So the second time they beat them, I'm like, all right, they beat Alabama decisively. That's their biggest win. Then they beat Miami. So the schedule got them the first seed. I mean, they backed out of a home and home with Virginia to play Little Sisters of the Poor. Man, I just can't respect a soft non-conference all the way. At least the SEC teams and the Big Ten teams play. Alabama played Wisconsin last year and Florida State. That's two Power 4 teams, and they lost one of them. Indiana played nobody last year. Their Big Ten schedule was soft as baby poop. It just was a disaster, man. So I felt they were overinflated. I didn't think they were going to make the run that they had, but they did. And you can't take it away from them because, they beat Alabama, they beat Miami, they beat Texas Tech on the road. Was it Texas Tech? No, they beat Ohio State. So they got it done in the playoffs, so I can't knock it, but it's just 16 teams is perfect. Ruben Bain is falling down that draft board. I think whoever gets him is going to get a killer.
I think that's who they go with here, being the Buccaneers. Either that or I've been hearing a lot of Sadiq to them. I don't think that they need Sadiq personally, but who else could they? Didn't they have a tackle retire, if I'm not mistaken?
Levante David retired.
Yeah, too bad Sonny Styles. Sonny Styles was a popular pick to them before he destroyed the combine. But I think they go edge here. I think they go Bain. Bain I expected to be, a fringe top 10. Maybe they go Sadiq, though. It's too early to take a defensive tackle, in my opinion, with some of the guys that are there. I agree, Chris. Chris is also an OG. He is one of the homies. Shout out to Chris Beagle.
Yep, Chris, thank you for tuning in. So Ruben Bain is the pick for Tampa Bay.
Oh,
which kind of fits their persona. Tampa Bay absolutely, needs some kind of pass rush. He put him with Vita Vea. And
power.
Yep.
Lots of power.
And he showed out in the playoffs. I mean, he had a great game against Indiana. He's just been an absolute masterpiece for them. So good pick for the Bucs. I mean, in the middle of the first round, the Jets are on the clock again. And then we're off to, look. Who picks after the Jets? The last place team in the NFC North.
I do wish them the worst.
Back at home.
My brother's a Lions fan, and I love to troll him.
Well, sorry about your brother.
I'd laugh at him all the time.
Sorry about your brother. What you gonna do when you root for the Lions, dude?
To be fair, though, he's been a fan of them through thick and thin. And to be a Lions fan, you have to be a fan through thick and thin.
A lot of thick. San Antonio women thick. I'm just kidding, San Antonio. I'm not Charles Barkley.
Some people like them thick women.
Well, this is America. Land of the free, home of the Whopper. You never know what's going to happen.
Fried food be hitting. That Tex-Mex, actually.
Popeye's chicken down there. Let's see what Ruben Bain. He looks like a Buccaneer, man. I always like when they hug Goodell and they rock him back and forth like that. It goes on so long, like a long lost pal.
If you are going to take somebody with arm length concerns, that's an edge. The power better be there, and the power is absolutely there. I'd be shocked if he's not immediately good in the run game at the very, very least.
Well, we're looking at clips of him right here. This is against Syracuse. I mean, at that position, I'm not terribly concerned about arm length. Because if you got enough speed to get around, if you got the pass rush moves and the speed, I don't think that the arm length is super big deal. You just got to be able to, you can do stunts and find ways around it.
Yes, and that is one thing. I forget what channel it was, but teams are running a lot less one-on-one matchups and running a lot more stunts and simulated pressures to help avoid these problems.
Sure.
So that is something that teams intelligent teams are defeating. Who we got? No, we got the Jets now. Man, Mekhi Lemon's still there. Man, him and Garrett Wilson. If they would ever decide to stop being a dysfunctional team, get a good quarterback, stop hiring terrible head coaches, and that could be good. They got 3 firsts next year, man. If they get rid of Aaron Glenn and decide to get an offensive-minded play-calling head coach, and they get a quarterback next year, sheesh, they could be really good on offense with Brees if they re-sign him, Garrett Wilson, and a receiver here. Maybe they go Sadiq. I was a big Mason Taylor hater. I didn't understand it. He wasn't good as a tight end in college. I understand he's related to a Hall of Famer. That doesn't mean you are. I don't care about that. It's one of the biggest reasons that I didn't fall for the Marvin Harrison hype in the sense of as the definitive number 1 wide receiver. I thought Malik Neighbors was just clearly better, a better separator. Way more explosive after the catch than MHJ was. MHJ was a precision guy that had really good releases off the line, good timing with his routes, good hands in college. But long story short, yeah. Who do you think they go with?
The Jets, I think they go tight end here.
Sadiq.
I'm going to let you know while we're doing this just how I acquired some of those players. Let's take a look here. Because remember, I told you I got all those. I had all those picks, right? So for Taylor, I traded 227 firsts for Jonathan Taylor. For Gibbs, I traded Malik Neighbors, ironically. Wait a minute.
Sadiq goes to the Jets.
Yeah, I called that one too.
Good pick.
Well, I didn't call him, but
good
pick. Anyway, I traded Malik Neighbors for Gibbs, but then I traded Christian Watson and 2 firsts to get Neighbors back.
That's a ridiculous steal. That's by far the best value. Malik Neighbors shouldn't be going for that cheap.
For Jamar Chase, I traded Bryce Young, Ricky Pearsall, and 2 firsts of this draft.
I take it back. That's actually a better trade.
26 firsts.
Yeah, yuck. 26 firsts are worthless.
Yeah, that's for Nakua.
That's a great trade.
Nakua, I traded Olave, Coker, a 27 first, a 27 third, and a 26 third.
Yeah, that's a steal. That's actually, I think your Nakua trade is the biggest value win, then the Chase, then the Neighbors, but all 3 are ridiculous steals.
Pitts, I traded in the original rookie draft. I've held him all this time. Brees, I traded Luther Burden, who I really liked. But then I got all those other receivers, though. So I got Luther Burden. I traded Luther Burden afterwards for I got all those wideouts, and then I traded Luther Burden and Dylan Sampson for Brees Hall.
That's a steal. I like Burden though. Burden's awesome. But yeah, that's a steal.
Those are all the deals that I really have for Malik. I traded a 27 first, a 26 second, and a 28 second.
For Neighbors?
For Malik Willis.
Oh, I was like, bro, that's a haul. That's a robbery. That's still a good trade, though. Like I said, 26 picks if you're not getting Jeremiah Love. Like I think the 102 to the 110 are like second round picks in most classes, honestly. Like this is
traded. Here's one where I think I paid more. I acquired Harold Fannin for Gadsden and a 26 second. I feel that's pretty
That's even. A good trade.
Yeah.
Gadsden, dude. I think people are sleeping on the signing of Charlie Kolar. because Gadsden isn't an inline guy. It might be a Mike McDaniel offense, so I get the appeal of Gadsden. He's a really good receiver, but he's not an inline guy. And they gave Kolar some pretty good money, man. I think the snap share of Gadsden is going to be not as good as people think. That's a great trade for you.
So, but I had all those first, and I acquired.
You did great.
Look, dude, last year I finished in last place. I barely even checked that team. It was so bad, and I acquired all those first. And then, like, just to get the hauls that I got on those players, I mean, Taylor, Gibbs, Chase, Nakua, and Neighbors are all on my team.
Yeah, I think that every trade besides the Jonathan Taylor one is a definitive win for you. And I think I don't like that trade personally, but I think like you got such a ridiculous haul considering you gave up nothing for Neighbors, Chase, Nakua, and Harold Fannin, that overall that is a ridiculous win in total value between all those players for you. And you are definitely not going to be the worst in your league unless literally all of them get hurt again, which
yep.
That's
I mean,
a great
Neighbors has come back from the injury, so we'll see. But
he's going to be amazing. I think he is. I think he's eventually going to be the best receiver in the league.
What do you think Detroit's going to take here?
You see this shirt?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, buddy. He is my favorite player in the NFL. Easily.
You wouldn't catch me dead wearing an LSU player shit, my friend. Sorry.
You wouldn't catch me dead not wearing a Neighbors shirt.
I'll concede this. All right. Malik Neighbors, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Brian Thomas. Those are all LSU guys. I got to tip my cap to LSU for being wide receiver university. I got to do it as a Bama fan, as much as it pains me to say it.
But you could have a bunch of okay wide receivers if you went Ohio State.
Terrace Marshall. I thought Terrace Marshall was going to be really good. I really did.
He was a really good man beater, specifically on slants. His problem is he was horrible against zone when the transition to teams playing more zone happened, and he's a casualty because of it. Limited player, but really good at being an X and winning in the short area of the field. He also wasn't very good in the deep game, but I thought he was going to be good too. He was a miss of mine in the second round of my rookie draft. Yeah, very disappointing.
Lions are definitely going offensive line here. They have to. Ragnar retired. Skip's gone. I mean, they got Sewell, who's an elite player, but they've got problems on the OL. I'd be shocked if the Lions did anything else but go offensive line here.
I think they go Monroe Freeling, another ridiculous athlete, kind of like Caden Proctor. You know, just a ridiculous athlete for being a tackle. Iana Chor maybe is left at tackle. Who else would be there? There have been a lot of tackles taken already. I don't know how many are left.
It's an important position. It's like the most important. Like, you got to protect your franchise. Those are your uglies,
definitely.
You know.
I think of what else they could even pick here. They don't need a receiver at all, so I don't think it's interesting that Mekhi Lemon is still here.
I didn't like that. I thought that they definitely overreached to Sla last year. I didn't think that dude was good a lick of nothing. I didn't think he would go till like day 3 pick, and the Lions got him in the 3rd. But again, some of these people just live to lift, you know, to do stuff.
They can only make so many surprise selections that work out tremendously, like Gibbs, their middle linebacker from a couple years ago in the same draft.
All right, let's see who the Lions take here.
It's got to be tackle, no matter who it is, even if it's not somebody I mentioned. But I think it'll probably be Freeling. Maybe not. Blake Miller. Okay, not the tackle I thought. Blake Miller makes sense, like we said a million times already. He needed tackle after all the offensive line movement they've had.
Brad Holmes knows what he's doing. I mean, take yourself another big guy. You got to protect Goff. You've invested all that money in Jared Goff, and he is not fleet of foot. So get yourself a big old boy from Clemson. Minnesota. Do they take Carson back?
Man, why would you do that when you have 9?
You got Kyler. I'm just teasing. Like, it's just.
Dude, yeah, sheesh. I mean, I don't know who you start between the two of them. It's kind of I'm barely being facetious.
I think that the Vikings go corner here. They're gonna. I mean, because they've got tight
You
end.
don't think they go Thieneman?
Huh?
You don't think they go Thieneman to replace Harrison Smith? Maybe
It's got to be secondary somewhere for them.
McNeil Warren. Maybe they didn't. I think Thieneman has been the quote chalk pick for them like a billion times. But yeah, them losing Harrison Smith, even at his advanced age, is a big loss for the leadership of their defense.
Well, I hope that this offense, Blake Miller, you seem like a good kid, but you're playing for Detroit, so may your career struggle, pal. Same thing for this next pick.
I haven't talked to my brother about who they were going to pick yet, but I'm sure he likes the pick of being.
So the Cardinals, they did good, I think. I think, you know what? A lot of people like to pick on the running back position, and they don't want to pay the premiums for it. But a running back on a rookie deal in the first round is not going to hinder you like a quarterback. Let's see who the Vikings take here.
Wow. Okay.
So they went defensive middle. It's kind of well. I mean, they never really. Well, you got him and you got Dallas Turner now on the outside, who's coming along last year. But they're still missing Daniel Hunter. Ever since he left, they really haven't had an elite force over there pass rushing. So
they're thinking, hey, we got to play Gibbs, we got to play Jacobs, we got to play against the Bears, like 3 teams that really want to pound the ball. So that makes sense, honestly.
Yeah, it's a big dude, 327 pounds, 6'6". He's a space eater.
Injury concerns were his biggest thing, but I think it checked out. I think I heard reports a couple days ago that everything was checking out from a medical perspective. Yeah, it makes sense. I thought they were going Thieneman, but since you can't get a quarterback now, in my opinion, as far as a first-round talent with the 2 guys.
Defensive tackle should not be able to do a rip move like that on the inside and squeeze through on a pull play like that. He should have absolutely been destroyed there on that last highlight they showed on that sweep left, and he just went in there and just did over the top, and they didn't even block him. Like, that's great football.
The slide of Mekhi Lemon, this is actually very surprising to me. I haven't seen a mock draft where he's
this may be where he goes.
Oh, they need an upgrade. I'm sorry, but Jalen Coker is your wide receiver too. Everybody, he's a good story because undrafted guy, really good vertical. I think he's a solid player, but
look, man, the Panthers
they really need to get whoever their quarterback of the future is, some really good players and a good situation around him.
Put Lemon with Tet, and then because they got to admit they swung and missed on Leggett.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't like that pick from the jump.
He was a 23-year-old breakout, a 5th-year breakout in college.
And they traded in the first round to get him because they traded up one spot to get him in case they wanted to franchise tag him. That was the Panthers thinking. They moved they had the first pick in the second round. They moved up to the last pick in the first round for that.
Well, didn't they trade with the Bills and allow the Bills to take the other bust?
Something like that.
Deion Coleman. I mean, they picked the only 2 wide receivers in the entire class that weren't good. Insane. No surprise why the Bills decided to trade for DJ Moore. Better than them trying to pick one.
But I think the Bears were going to cut him, I think. So to give up a second round
pick, huge W out of that for sure. I agree.
It's a rare thing to say.
Well, if people want to hate on Ryan Poles, I think he's a pretty good GM. I think he gets overhyped by some people because no one could have seen the trade, the DJ Moore trade, turning into Caleb Williams, a first, Luther Burden, all of that, right? But it was a really good process. And but some people just think he's terrible and hate him, and I think with most things, somewhere in the middle is the right option. But I think he and Ben Johnson really have something cooking for the future. That team's going to be pretty good for a while. But they're not going to be easily the first team because they play the worst schedule either.
Oh, wait. Paul was a 49ers fan when we were young.
Oh, switching sides. Where's Paul to defend himself?
Hopped on the Barry Sanders train and stayed through the crap, though.
Hey, shout out to Paul. We love Paul.
Respect.
Yeah, respect to Chris, too. We love Chris. Oh, Christopher. You are the GOAT, too. So are you, Matthew, and so are you, Paul, wherever you are.
I will say this about your comments about the Bears being good for a long time.
There's the Packers bias. You remember when I told you shouldn't you be scared last year, and you weren't scared when you should have been?
I wasn't, and it was still.
That's terrible. Just think about this. Caleb Williams is going to walk your team down from behind. You have to deal with that for 10 plus years, man. That sucks. That sucks. I'm sorry.
Caleb Williams did not see Micah Parsons last year. That's all I'm gonna say. Now, if he does it, listen to me. If he does it with Micah Parsons in there, I'll back way off.
10 years at least. I would not want to be a Packers fan. I'm just kidding. I do like the Micah Parsons trade, though. Even though it turned out as like you couldn't have known it was going to turn out like that with the injury, it's still a win even with the injury. Yeah. I mean, who are you going to get in this class? Like, let's be real.
Nobody's even close to that kind of talent. Like I said, I think Jerry Jones is like, look, man, I know I can't pay him and pay Dak and pay CD, so one of them's got to go. I think that's what he ultimately did, and just like, man, I can't do it.
He ended up getting a net of a first in Quinnen Williams. That's a good value.
But he didn't get Quinnen Williams in that deal.
And net, I mean, after
Well,
2 trades. Oh, and Kenny Clark. That's an even yeah. Actually, now that you mention it, because they traded one of those first for Quinnen Williams. Dude, that's a great net. Considering
so go all line. Got a Georgia boy going to Charlotte. So now,
we got Freeling.
Yep.
Man, they're setting up their next QB after Bryce Young is kicked out of town.
I don't think he's getting kicked out of town. All the Cowboys moved up. Here's your Lemon trade. Here it is. Yeah. Listen, I don't think that Dallas trades the pick to Philadelphia.
Wow, they're getting Lemon and trading away A.J. Brown. Man, Lemon and Devontae Smith. That's an interesting combo if that happens.
I don't think that Bryce Young is getting run out of town because he's gotten better every season.
Yeah, he's now like the 24th best quarterback in the league.
I won't hear this Bryce Young slander.
He is like terrible, dude, like objectively.
James' hometown is Carolina.
Well, I live in North Carolina. That's what he's saying there. I've been a Ravens fan since I was like 8. So
you live in North Carolina?
I do now. Yeah. It's kind of nice. The weather... We have droughts here. Surprisingly, given that we live on the coast, you would think it would rain a lot, but nope.
Does not rain here, folks.
Oh no, you're in the desert, right?
You see that right there? You see that palm tree? Like, we don't get a whole lot of rain this way, all right?
Yeah.
Yep, we do not get the rain. We got palm trees out there.
Man.
The mountain.
All right, what are we thinking with the Eagles? Because, like, with them trading A.J. Brown, you think they have to draft receiver, right? Lemon, like him falling.
That's who they took.
They did. Oh, let's go! Yeah, the AJ Brown, you're out of here. You're out of here.
Well, they're going to be going. He's going to be going to New England.
Yep.
But it's a post June 1st deal. So what? So I think that they're going to get. What is New England going to give Philadelphia that's in comparison to a superstar receiver? I mean, what do the Eagles have or what do the Patriots have that Philadelphia can use? Because it won't be picks. It'd have to be picks in the next draft, or it'd have to be, man.
So they could have a surplus depending on what they do with this pick in the first round, in my opinion. If they go, for instance, if they go with defensive linemen potentially, I think they have some good lineman depth, specifically tackle. They were really good against the run when they were healthy, with Milton Williams, for instance. I don't think they'll trade him, but maybe. I think you're right. I think it'll be draft capital.
It's got to be, and it might be a first. It might be a first.
Maybe. I don't think he's worth a first. He's a declining player, but he's still a good player. But the fall off for these guys, and he has knee history. That kind of worries me for the long term. But I think they have the leverage to get it because this is not a receiver draft.
No.
Good pick by the Eagles, though. Man, Devontae Smith steps into wide receiver 1 role for them. I like that for Mekhi Lemon. You give Hurts a guy that you don't have to have a ton of precision with, because while Mekhi Lemon's radius isn't the widest, he has really good hands. You get him in the screen game. They've been missing somebody that can do something in the screen game because, AJ Brown is okay there, but he's more of a vertical X. And then Devontae Smith is more of your Z. He's not really a yak guy either. This gives him a lot more versatility on offense.
Roger Goodell giving out all the hugs.
Oh, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder too with the quote, the fall. He's going to have a lot of motivation to kick some butt. We'll see if he does.
We'll see.
He has really good hands though, like ridiculous hands. Watching, they're showing some of the highlights.
Oh man, just ran right past him. There he is in the slot.
Yeah, buddy. Ridiculous hands.
That's working for it right there. That Michigan highlight, he had to work for that. That was a good play. He didn't have to. He wasn't gifted. He didn't just cook him, stopping in, and there you go, a little curl route, little stick.
And then the yak ability.
That's a touchdown.
Yeah, the Eagles somehow do it. It's one of those tropes, the past couple of years. But to be fair, they always get somebody that they shouldn't have been able to grab.
Well, they were drafting all those Georgia players, Georgia and Alabama players.
You don't care about how
I think that there's something that Philadelphia is kind of tired of Jalen Hurts, but I don't know.
Ooh. Yeah, you just have to have. I mean, who are you going to? That's just the thing. Who are you gonna? Who are you starting if you don't have him? To be fair, next year projects to have like maybe. I'd say there could arguably be 6 guys that could, if they have a good season, could be first rounders next year. Like next year is going to be an insane class.
Well, you got
Arch, you got San. If Lagway performs this next year, he could maybe be a first. If Sellers performs now, it's an if.
That is Spice City right there. If. DJ Lagway, huh?
It's an if. It's an if.
Man.
There are 2 guys. I think San and Arch are going to be first rounders with what I think right now, but it's an if. I think you have Lenore Sellers if he takes a step forward, and it's an if. Who else could you have? There's a couple more. Chambliss potentially, if he improves, could potentially be a first. I mean, that's just the thing is it's not every draft that you start out with guys before the season that you are pretty confident will be firsts, and then you have the room for guys to potentially become firsts.
What about Marcel Reed?
Marcel Reed too, dual threat. Who's the guy out of? Was it not Michigan?
Bryce?
Washington? Was it Washington? I forget. There's a dual threat quarterback that I thought looked pretty decent. I think it was Washington. The guy throwing to Denzel Boston this year, I thought was pretty solid. I don't know if he's 27 eligible.
We're going to get a whole Pittsburgh spiel here.
It'll be interesting to see who Pittsburgh goes with Ty Simpson out. That was, if Ty Simpson had fallen, I was thinking, like you were saying earlier, that made a lot of sense for them.
Yeah.
With Mekhi Lemon gone. Oh, did they go
Drew Aller?
Do they go potentially with
Carson Beck?
No, do they go with Omar Cooper? You know, a Z with a lot of yak ability to complement Metcalf.
Well, Roman Wilson's not very good.
No,
So
he was a cross route merchant at Michigan. Yeah, we would have had a very similar opinion on him coming out if we had been talking back in the day. They could use a lot of things. They could use some offensive line too.
I can't believe they made the playoffs last year. I know that game had to just been aggravating, that Sunday night game, that kick.
Goodell hopping up to the stage with Bettis. Interesting.
But listen, man, the AFC North's going to look a whole lot different. You know, you got 3 new head coaches there, and your most tenured coach is Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow. Like, I think that the Bengals might be the team to beat this year. They really do look like the best team out of all of them. We just don't know what we're going to see with the Ravens, or we're going to see with, McCarthy. McCarthy, though, like I will always say this, like Mike McCarthy gets way too much hate. That dude wins everywhere he goes, man, and he makes the playoffs in the NFL. That's so hard to do.
You have a career in comedy if you decide to not do this.
What's that?
With that Bengals assertion.
It's
possible. I'm just hating. I'm a Ravens fan.
It's okay, but being realistic, like they got defensive problems, though. I mean, God,
everywhere, literally everywhere.
And they don't have any money because they paid everybody. They paid T. Higgins all that money.
Let's see, who are they going with? Like I said, I think they could use offensive. Yep. Offensive line. Yes, sir.
You can never go wrong with linemen, man.
Set up whoever the poor soul that's going to lose for years in Pittsburgh needs to be set up for mediocrity.
Man, I'm getting old. We got 24 viewers. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. We're an hour 2 of the NFL draft. 21 picks in. We got 10 more to go. Call this a night within an hour, I think.
Pittsburgh Steelers fans, you ready for an 8-9 season? Let's go.
Chicago Bears fans, you ready for an 8-9 season? Let's go. Thing is, you don't want that to happen for me, but I don't really care what the Steelers do. I can't get over how much you guys love Caleb Williams. It just blows my mind. It's just the most mind-boggling disagreement I've had with so many people. Like they just see.
It's because you have a bias against him.
But here's the thing, right? When he was at Oklahoma,
he took over Spencer Rattler and made him his BI's.
Every time he plays elite defenses, every time the guy folds. I'm telling you, Micah Parsons is the difference of those games. It's a total difference. You get
the Eagles with Jalen Carter, and the Eagles have a pretty good defense, and he won pretty convincingly.
Every time he played Utah, he lost. Kalen DeBoer owns Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
with a lesser squad.
So one thing he struggled with in college is disguised defenses, and the Utes do a lot of that. So to their credit, they really punked him in college. I think that's a thing a lot of collegiate quarterbacks struggle with, though, to be fair, is disguising defenses. I mean, they did a lot of stuff. They did invert cover 2s against him. They did a lot of cloud coverage. They did a lot of disguised things, simulated pressure, I think, too, if I'm not mistaken. Because I took a look at that game, the All-22. This was like 3 years ago, to be fair, so I don't have perfect memory of it. But I know they ran a lot of disguised defenses, and that really got them.
Yeah. Well, it's a good pick for the Steelers there.
Yeah, they got to set up whoever they're going to go 8-9 with up for success.
Cowboys got another pick in the first. And the Browns.
Man, I'm thinking Thieneman goes here.
The Chargers are going OL. They have to go OL.
Who's
or
there?
Pass rusher.
Pregnon, the guard, I think, is the best interior guy available. They have Joe Alt and Slater at tackle. So they have 2 studs there if they can stay healthy. Now, staying healthy is a problem. But if they go interior, I think Pregnon is probably the guy. I think they go Thieneman though.
Maybe they go pass rusher here.
Khalil Mack's aging out. Yeah, there's been a lack of edge rushers after Bailey.
Bosa's gone.
Maybe TJ Parker here.
I think pass rush might be the right call.
Maybe
need some
Kendrick
both up.
Keldrick Falk, I mean.
You know what the funniest thing about the Chargers for me is? My wife's from San Diego, right?
I'm sorry.
And
good weather.
Yeah, you get good weather, and people were just like
State.
up in arms about them moving to Los Angeles. You can drive to Los Angeles for a Chargers game in 90 minutes. Like, your team wasn't like, the Houston Oilers that moved to pass rush.
25-year-old, mind you, they are win now. This is a win now pick. He is 25.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. That's a win now move, because he's going to be 29 or 30 by the time he gets to his second contract. Think about that.
But what I was saying is, it's not like a situation for the Chargers. They moved up the street. It's not like if you took the Texans or took the Houston Oilers and moved into Tennessee, or you moved the Rams from St. Louis to LA again. Like, your team moved. You just got to drive down the interstate a little further. Like, come on, man. They're still local. San Diego didn't want to give them the tax breaks for the stadium, and that makes sense, especially in San Diego County in California, where everything costs an arm and a leg, and the Chargers upgraded their stadium by a metric mile. I mean, the Murph was falling apart, and they tore it down, and now that's where they built the new stadium for the Aztecs. San Diego State plays in a really nice stadium there. It just was like, come on, man. Your team went up the street.
Speaking of teams you hate, are we going to have the Gary Bears?
I think this is the funniest thing ever, because let me tell you something.
That's the same thing, though. It's a new state. It's I don't know. Distance.
I don't know. Yep. I don't know if you know this about me, but I was born in the city right next to Gary. I lived in Northwest Indiana for 35 years. Okay.
Can't be perfect, man.
So where they're moving, allegedly, in Hammond there, it's absolutely hilarious. It's toxic dump. Literally off the Little Calumet River, they have toxic dump. Wolf Lake is like this. Wolf Lake is the site right next to where they want to build this stadium, okay? Now, Wolf Lake is notorious for being uncharacteristically warm. It's not like a fresh lake where it feels cool. When you dip your toe in Wolf Lake, it's warm because there's chemicals and stuff that heats the earth there. So please move Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears to Hammond, Indiana, folks. I mean,
give them a dome.
I don't care. Just please do that and put it in just a location where there's nothing but an abandoned mall and high crime. You love to see it, folks. You love to see this.
I mean, you're going to lose to him twice a year regardless as to where he moves. So Caleb Williams, I own you. That's going to be what he's going to say to your Packers year after year. It's unfortunate. You have to deal with him for 10 years. Just that sucks. I'm sorry. You got to deal with that. Yeah. Remember how unscared you were when he came back and dominated you at the end of games last year? Well,
I was.
Goodness.
That's exactly what will happen again next year. Like, there's been no fear on this end. It's just like...
It makes it funnier.
You're right. It could totally blow up in my face, or it could be, and I told you so. Like, it's almost like if you played... You got brothers, right?
Yeah.
Are you the older or the younger?
I'm the youngest by far.
Oh, by far? Okay, so it's a bad analogy. But it's like little brother beating big brother. And, he got a couple in there, but then, like, it gets back to reality sometimes. So,
unfortunately for you, you don't have Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre anymore.
I don't care. Like, it's
and
not...
you're inefficient with the championships in terms of, you would have hoped with having legendary quarterback play, you could have won more.
You would have hoped that the Packers would have got defense. Listen to me. I'm going to tell you this right now. That's the one thing Tom Brady always had was a top 10 defense. Every time they won the Super Bowl. Every time they won, he had defense to help him. And Rodgers never had that. We had guys in that NFC Championship game against Atlanta.
Well, he didn't take a pay cut.
Hold on. You got me going here. You remember that game against the Falcons? The NFC Championship game against Atlanta.
LOL, Julio Jones mossed you guys.
Because there was nothing. There were trash men. There was a garbage man.
Rodgers should have taken less money. Why aren't you? Why are you such a selfish narcissist?
Nope, they've never been able to develop in the defensive.
Selfish Aaron Rodgers.
Well, that's your take on him, but like Aaron Rodgers won you a lot of football games. You know,
factual take. Why do you think Tom Brady had the ability to have these top 10 defenses? Because Rich White allowed him to take a pay cut.
A breaking fantasy trade just happened in my league. Oh my God!
What happened?
This is an IDP league.
Mm-hmm.
You know what those are, right?
Yeah, individual defensive player.
This might be the biggest trade. One team receives Micah Parsons and the 1.1 of this draft.
Okay.
The other team receives Jackson Smith-Njigba. Now, mind you, sacks are worth 10 points.
1 for 1. It's just JSN for the other side, right?
It's JSN for Parsons.
Jeremiah Love and Parsons.
Yep.
I think I'd rather have the IDP side. I think we see some regression from Jackson Smith-Njigba personally. I'd take Love and Parsons probably, but I could understand if people think there's no regression.
All right, let's see who Dallas takes here. Pick 23.
What? Wow.
So another pass rusher. Well, they ain't got nobody.
It's just who they picked.
I know, but they had Micah Parsons and they got rid of him, so you never know.
Wow. Malachi Lawrence, huh? Okay.
So we got ourselves a Big 12 pass rusher here. So he
was not a common mocked first round pick. That's what I'll say.
Well, usually you get this far in the draft, and that's when those things kind of fall. I don't do mock drafts because there's so many trades and so much movement that I know why people do them and it's fun, but like they're never right.
Yeah,
you never know.
Yeah. You'll never have.
Everybody was just stuck. If it was like baseball where you couldn't trade out of your pick, then it'd be a lot more interesting. But you make all these moves and stuff.
That's a shocking.
Oh man, that's a good play.
That's a shocking pick in terms of who they chose.
One thing I love about football is, for me personally, like my love letter to football is how I can watch this game at whether it's CFL, UFL, college football, NFL. I mean, even at the high school, like the competition, when you see players just make these elite plays, even no matter what level it is, you could still like appreciate it. You know what I mean? It's like
when Caleb Williams threw that nasty moonball on the run all the way down to Jerry Rice's son against UCLA. Generational play.
Yes. But even in a highlight package like that, when you're just looking at more on a smaller level, like more on a teams like they were showing like a Big 12 or like a Conference USA, like or the MAC, when you just see those players play, they play a little bit of a different style because you know they're not getting the NIL money, but they're still playing their rear ends off. It's something that I really enjoy about the game of football, but I also enjoy it on a high level too. Like I enjoy seeing that in the NFL and, you know, great players making great plays. And I can respect it even if it's on teams that I don't like, you know, like when
Harold Bannon from the MAC. Bowling Green.
See? Yeah. Did you play football in high school?
No.
No?
Way too fat.
How are you too fat to play football? How is that even a thing? Ladies and gentlemen,
fat and out of shape.
First, I hear this guy tell me Caleb Williams is great, and then he says, I'm too fat to play football.
Well, I mean, it was so 5'9", overweight, white guy. Not great stacked traits for production on a football field. The mind was there though. Hence why I have such an opinion I do of Caleb Williams, which is why it's so surprising that you have this let's say, irrational negative bias towards him.
It's not just him though, and it's not irrational. And I'm
I
6'1".
disagree.
I'm 6'1", and I played football, so
You got me beat by a couple of inches. No diddy.
no, it doesn't matter. But there are players that I just think like I got the same feelings on some of the stuff when it comes to my analysis of players, but it usually starts in college because I don't hate USC. I don't care about them. But like when I see like my favorite thing to do, I guess you could say, and I don't want to say I'm being a contrarian about it because I'm definitely not. But it's when they hype up prospects and then you have to bring them back to earth, and they bring it back to earth with their play. And
Sophomore Heisman winner had a worse season as a junior, but still a really good season, all things considered. I mean, he lost Jordan Addison.
Are you ready? Are you ready for me? Are you ready for me to have the most biased but take that I believe, and you're going to tell me I'm on crack for it?
Definitely, I will. You can
This is
guarantee
absolutely a sound bite. All
it.
right.
Believe you.
And this is my sound bite for 2026 upcoming NFL season right here on the Justin Paul Sports NFL Draft Night 1 coverage with the Fantasy Football Strategist. Bryce Young will have a better season than Caleb Williams this year.
That's the hottest take I've ever heard in my life.
And they're both Heisman Trophy winners. They're both picks number 1 overall. Caleb's got all the tools, got the playoff wins. Both teams went to the playoffs last year.
You could arguably say he has everything over Bryce Young in every sense of the word possible.
Except Bryce Young has a national championship. But
Yeah,
Bryce
one
Young-
played for Alabama and one didn't.
lesson in there. Bryce Young will have a better season than Caleb Williams. Write it down, take a picture, we'll revisit it, clip it, post it.
Please,
I'll put it on my TikTok, folks.
everybody,
Words from my mouth.
everybody, remember this.
Bryce,
Remember this.
I don't care.
Write the hell
Bryce
out.
Young is going to have a better season.
Now,
than
how are
Caleb
we going to
Williams.
quantify it? How are we going to quantify a better season? How exactly is this going to be quantified? Let me know.
He's going to have a better touchdown to interception ratio.
Okay,
Are you okay, buddy?
I'm laughing.
And the Panthers are going to the
funny.
playoffs and the Bears aren't.
Okay, well, I mean, one plays in the NFC South. That's a terrible measure of success. They made the playoffs with an 8-9 record. That doesn't mean anything. They won in spite of Bryce Young. If they had mediocre quarterback play, they could have been a serious contender in the NFC.
Oh, Concepcion.
Yes,
Good pick for Cleveland.
Great pick. I told
tell
my
you.
friend Chris in the chat. He's a Browns fan, man. I told him take tackle at 6. Well, I mean they traded, but tackle early and then receiver late. That is the best. Chris, let me know what you're thinking in the comment. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry, man. Too hype. Great pick, man. You got to be hyped as a Browns fan. That's a great draft for you guys.
I'll tell you, like, when it comes to Concepcion, when he was at NC State, and by the way,
Running the ball.
I'm gonna go with this too because this is me being mad. Oh, by the way, clowns are on the clock here, but I was being mad because Concepcion was in the transfer portal and he went to A&M over Alabama and we wanted him so bad, and then it happened again this year with that running back that went to Texas over Alabama, Hollywood, whatever his name is, went to Texas.
Well, he made a mistake not going to Alabama, in my opinion. I don't have any bias against Alabama.
It just
But
was
Chris,
like-
you got to be happy, man. That's a great draft from you guys. That's a great draft.
looks like a little bit Debo. Concepcion's not that big. Debo's a huge man. Look how small he is. Like, I mean, respectfully, I like Concepcion as his prospect. I think that's a good pick for Cleveland. I hope the Bears next
Jaden
pick.
Reed plus.
I think the Bears are going offensive line, or
Ian Chor. Is he available?
or I think a running back might go to Chicago here.
Oh, you thinking Price?
I think it's possible here,
It's possible.
but they need secondary too. I mean, didn't they let Jalen Johnson go? And
He's still there, but they let Nashawn Wright go. But they have a terrible defense. Anything on defense at all would be a win for them. All
that
their
might be where they
safeties
go.
Besides, they signed Kobe Bryant, really good safety from the Seahawks. But let me see. Did Anachor go? Oh, he did. Okay, Freeling's gone. Anachor's gone. Oh man, Blake Miller's gone.
God, the Browns are going to be really good next year too, man. I think, like I said, if Deshaun Watson just plays good, folks. Here's spicy take number 2. If the Browns, I think the state of Ohio can run the North next year.
They could. They have a nasty defense.
And that's not a dig at the Ravens or the Steelers. I think the state of Ohio can run the AFC North next year. And the Bears will finish in last place. Well, not last place, but they'll finish 8-9.
Man, okay, so all the tackles I was thinking of, I'm going to go to PFF real quick. And I'm going to take a look at who's there right now for tackle, because I think the Bears really should consider tackle. Maybe Pregnon if they want to go interior out of Oregon.
Telling you, man, that team got by on a last place schedule and like 5 wins that they shouldn't have won. Like when they beat the Giants, like they had 5 wins last year, 5 of them inside 2 minutes. And it's just like
Caleb Williams is clutch. Hate on him all you want. He's awesome.
I'm telling you right now, Bryce Young is going to have a better season than Caleb Williams next year.
LOL.
LOL, he says.
Oh, Caleb Lomu's there. Tackle out of Utah. I like that for the Bears here, potentially. You got Pregnon if they want to go guard.
I think they're going secondary.
I mean, if you go secondary, man, you got you got the likes of Emmanuel McNeil-Warren there. He has good versatility. Same thing with Thieneman.
Xavier Brown. Please, Chicago, do not pick Alabama players. You've only done it once to only one Alabama player that I liked, and it was really painful for me to watch Eddie Jackson play up there. But other than that, man, you know what, Chicago? Start picking some players I hate. Like, pick some Auburn or LSU players or a Tennessee player here. I can appreciate that. That really makes me double down.
Ooh, the Texans traded up with Buffalo. I think Buffalo was going to go Concepcion, and I think they traded because he's picked now.
Okay.
Who does Houston need? Because they don't need anything on defense, despite the fact that they'll probably forsake offense for the billionth draft in a row to make sure they never win anything.
They need offensive linemen.
Bad. Hey, we have a weakness. Let's trade away Laramie Tunzel, our Pro Bowl good tackle. Let's get worse at our biggest deficiency. Great idea.
I don't think CJ Stroud will ever have another season like he did his rookie year. That's another spicy take.
They doomed him. I feel terrible for him. He works with Nico Collins for 3 games a year before he gets hurt. They draft a 140-pound receiver in Tank Dell. That's hyperbole. They draft Jaden Higgins. Oh, he's the next.
He's Nico good though. Collins. I like him.
He's 6'4" and runs a 4.49. That means he is Nico Collins.
I like Higgins.
He's fine, but it just got so annoying when people look at 2 measurables and decide that this guy is Nico Collins.
Oh, so we're having the same discussion that we had earlier, how people don't know how to evaluate players or evaluate their picks. They just don't. They just, I'm telling you, man, like.
They're not even close to the same player. Yeah, exactly. I could not agree with you more. Like, goodness. Please, Lomu. Because with the Bears, they lost their tackle, who looked pretty decent. The 6'9" tackle out of, I forget where he played. I forget his name. I mean, they have Braxton Jones for now. I don't like that for them.
The Bears should get Jeremy Bernard. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that, Jerm. Don't go there. You're not going to the first round anyway.
Let's have another year of 80,000 receivers and not enough to go around.
Well, I mean, they don't have DJ Moore there now, so. And by the way, I'm not. I wasn't big on Rome Odunze, but I'm really big on Luther Burden a lot. Like, I was so mad the Packers didn't take him, and he ends up going to the team I hate.
Thieneman, I like that. They needed
Play
him.
that defense.
Oh, dude, that's a nasty combo. Thieneman and Kobe Bryant from Seattle acquired via free agency. And the thing is, with what's his name, their defensive coordinator, the guy who was previously the head coach for the Saints,
Allen.
yes, Dennis Allen. He likes versatility with his safeties to be able to be a deep third, but also be able to reach the box. They now have two safeties that can do both. That's
Preach
a great pick.
Preach the gospel there, Chris. You love to see it.
Oh yeah, of course the Bears will go 8-9. They're gonna have a first place scheduled team, and they play in probably the hardest division, definitely a top 3 division. And not everybody can be the Bryce Young Panthers and have a losing record and somehow make the freaking playoffs. I mean, that's pathetic.
Bryce Young will have I'm gonna say it right here, crystal clear on the camera. 2 hours, 41 minutes, 15 seconds.
We love you, Chris.
Bryce Young will have a better season than Caleb Williams in this 2026 NFL season. No joke, no nonsense. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, folks.
I don't do drugs, but I could use some of what you do, apparently, allegedly.
Hey, the air in the desert is a little bit different than it is in the rest of the country. I'll tell you what.
It'll be interesting.
All right, so we got about 7 more
That's
picks.
a great
left.
pick.
6 more picks left. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 7 more
I'll be
picks.
right. I'll be right back.
I won't be on the stream tomorrow, unfortunately. I have to go to a doctor's appointment. But while he's away, ladies and gentlemen, I will be doing the stream live with Eric from eToff's 21 Sports on Saturday for the day 3 picks. We're just going to have ourselves a bunch of fun and talk about anything and everything, so it should be good stuff. The Bills trade out to Houston, just like he said. All right. Sorry for the silence there. I got 32 viewers. I want to thank you guys for tuning in right now. We are wrapping up round 1 of the NFL draft. We've got a few more picks left. The Texans have traded to move up and traded with the Buffalo Bills. And the pick is in, so we're going to see exactly what they got. It's been a good show with the Fantasy Football Strategist, talking a little football trash, talking a little dynasty. We enjoyed the comments. For some reason, my comments thing ain't lighting up, but I think I just got to have it open. But yeah, we got 32 viewers, and the Bears just picked another guy that Jordan Love's going to torch this season. Christian Watson is going to run right past this dude. Jaden Reed is going to put this. He's going to shake him at the 30-yard line. Excuse me, I'm talking. He's going to shake him at the 30-yard line, and he's going to leave his jock on the floor in Soldier Field. And
how about that miss last year between Christian Watson and him to help ice the game and be a loss for the Packers?
We're going to see.
Yikes. And then Watson got smacked to the ground by Tyler Gordon.
For a guy who's a Ravens fan that's not even in the same conference, talks a lot of smack about the Green Bay
because
Packers.
It's you.
Because
if it was
me.
you were the perfect person for this, because like we could not have differing, bigger, we couldn't have a wider margin of differences for some of these takes.
Some of them, sure, but that's the spice of life. But they're not like. I think we both can kind of explain why we think the way we do, though, with like ration. It's not like you're just saying something to be a contrarian or to be.
Definitely not.
I didn't say the Bryce thing to be obnoxious. I just think that he's gotten better every season, and what I saw from him at Alabama, like when you have composure, and like they played a game at Texas when he was there, and Texas just came and brought it, and he just laid so Joe Cool in it, didn't make the mistakes. Goes on the road to Auburn, does the same thing, like wins these really tough games Texans are picking right now. Hang on.
What do they do? It has to be line, right? Like, could you?
A guard.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you're CJ Stroud, you've got to be on your knees praying to God that that's what they were going to do.
Prayers are answered. Look, he's your franchise quarterback. Get him some protection. 6'3", 316. I mean, played in the ACC, played in a Brent Key system. That's a pro-style offense down there. I mean, right there, pulling guard, gets the job done. Look at it. He totally turned that defensive end around.
I like this for them. Anything on literally anyone
just dominating. That's good. So 49ers trade out to Miami. So I think the 49ers move back 3 spots.
Dolphins, do they go? They got to go receiver, right? Like, I mean, like you got to give Malik Willis a chance. Malik Washington can't be your number one.
Cooper pick. This might be the Cooper pick here.
That'd be great for them. That'd be great for him. He should write if he. One thing about Malik Willis is it was a limited sample size, but Malik Willis has one of the better deep balls in the entire league. He has a beautiful deep ball. His efficiency was otherworldly. I'm gonna look this up real quick because it's actually insane. So if this will load, he had his deep ball completion percentage was 87.5%. His deep ball catchable pass rate was also 87.5%. Malik Willis has a nasty deep ball.
But then why do they trade Jalen Waddle? Like, I don't understand why they did that.
Because Jalen Waddle gets so he's one of those players that's like Puka Nacua, except without a lot of the production. Despite the fact he doesn't miss games, Jalen Waddle is in the blue medical tent every game. Like, you think that this man has died on the field every game.
It's really sad to see that because, like, when he was at Alabama,
nasty player, dude. Before that ankle injury, still a nasty player.
Just a gazelle. The way he would float down the field, and like he made Mac Jones and Tua.
Like,
I thought that Tua connection with him was going to be money for the Dolphins. I'm like, look, man, he's throwing to his best receiver down there. But then, the coaching situation got real goofy. I blame the coaches for ruining Tua. Nick Saban had no problems with him. Accurate. Goes to the pros, and he works for a drug addict and Mike McDaniel, who just, like, I don't know. Like, come on, man. Come on.
But they had Ruggs. They had Ruggs, Judy, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Waddle. That is a ridiculous receiver core. And Jamison Williams, right?
And Henry Ruggs. No, Tua didn't have Jamison.
Yeah. That was okay. Yeah. Jamison was at Ohio State at that point, right?
Bryce had Tua or Jamison.
Okay. Yeah.
Remember,
a bunch of nasty receivers.
This is again, that's again why I can't give up on Bryce Young, because I've seen him beat Georgia and do it with talent that's not as good as what Tua had. I mean, Jamison Williams isn't a 1. John Mechie isn't great. I mean, and who else did they have? Who else did Alabama have? I could kill. No, I gotta back that up. I could wish
allegedly
terrible things on Bill O'Brien for what he did to Jahmyr Gibbs and Alabama when he was there running that offense. How he held them back.
Yep.
And what's his name? That coach of Ole Miss now. I'll never forgive him for what. Dude, Pete Golding was the defensive coordinator, right? Saban had Bill O'Brien running the offense and Pete Golding on defense. You know what Pete Golding decided to do on defense? I'm going to tell you this right now. And you tell me right now who's got the damaged brain. I'm going to drop Will Anderson into coverage. Anybody just want to drop Will Anderson into coverage? Or do you want him to go wreck the quarterback, which is what he does?
Will Anderson is a crazy edge player.
I could not believe that Lane Kiffin's replacement was Pete Golding down there at Ole Miss. Bobby has got to be head over fist joy to have that guy. But Pete Golding has surprised me a little bit in the press conferences he's had since then. I mean, he did push Georgia He nearly beat or did beat Georgia. They beat Georgia in the playoff. Ole Miss, right? I want to say yes. They beat Ole Miss, and then they were. Let's see who Miami takes here.
Wow.
So they go defense.
I don't hate the pick. I mean, they need everything. Let's be honest. Like, they literally need everything besides quarterback, I guess, and running back. But it should be a crime what they're going to do to Malik Willis. Like, could you set someone up for more failure? Like, that should be a crime. Malik Willis deserves so much better.
We're gonna see.
Should have gone to the Cardinals, dude.
I thought Ty Simpson was gonna come here.
Like, Malik Willis should have gone to the Cardinals. What are you doing?
Carson Beck is coming here now because I don't think that Jacoby Brissett's going to be the guy.
Not for the long term. You hear he's trying to get an extension, dude? Get out of here. You're 35 or 34?
Your quarterbacks are. It's either Brissett or Gardner Minshew. Like, that's what you got on the roster there, and I don't know. I think that maybe the Cardinals. I don't. But see, it's hard for me to say the Cardinals are going to pass on this draft on quarterback and then not get one and then wait till next year because that's 4 straight losing seasons for Osfort. Like, I don't know if he survives it. You can't blame him if he doesn't take. But I think that Carson Beck is going to be a Cardinal. I do. I think that he's the guy who's going to come here. He'll be the first quarterback off the books tomorrow. Well, I mean,
Patriots trade up.
So
Is it Denzel Boston? Is it Omar Cooper? Because, man, if you get Omar Cooper here and then you trade for A.J. Brown, you have Cooper as a Z, you have Brown as an X, and then you move Kayshon Boutte into the slot, that's a pretty good receiver core.
Yeah, Diggs is going to prison.
I
I wish that the Packers would have kept Trayvon, but I guess he must look really bad. I don't know. That was a fall from grace. Trayvon Diggs at Alabama. I'll never forget that. Tennessee was coming back late in the game, and they get on the goal line, and it fumbles it, and he returns at 100 yards, and he has that first season where he's got 10 picks. Like, secondary is a real tough position, though, man. It's the toughest, I think, in football is playing secondary. Let's see who the pass.
mean, if your pass rush doesn't get home, you have to cover forever.
Yep.
Okay, I like Lomu. Yeah, Drake May needs. I mean, you saw what happened against the Seahawks, dude. Get him some protection. I prefer them move Will Campbell to guard. I think Campbell could be an all pro Pro Bowl level guard. Personally.
Because of his tiny arms.
Yeah. T-Rex.
I've got these tiny hands.
But, I mean, hey, give Drake May some protection. You trade for A.J. Brown and get him an actual wide receiver 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to interrupt you here. Etoff Sports, Eric will be my guest on Saturday for day 3 as we just mumble and bumble and talk about anything and everything when it comes to our last day picks. That will be all about the NFL draft. We want to give him a round of applause. Like I said, tomorrow I won't be on. I've got things I got to take care of, unfortunately, for picks 2 and 3, but I will have him on Saturday to totally just be loose. So appreciate you tuning in, my friend Eric. So let's just say here, next year's quarterback class is solid. Take a shot at Nussmeier in the third. Nussmeier didn't do it at LSU for me.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I think taking a mid-round quarterback is fine.
Bryce Young is not good, LOL. He's fine, but not very athletic and has a noodle arm. Intangibles are good, but very weak traits. Hey.
You're going to get a lot of disagreement from the
okay.
Alabama committee here, but I could not. When Bryce Young passed for 200 yards 4 times last year, 200 yards 4 total times. I'm sorry, that is like the worst. He's one of the worst. He is just.
But you know what? Listen.
No upside at all.
Is it upside, or did he,
or floor, arguably?
Did he have a Romo Dunze or a Luther Burden or
Troy McMillan?
Or Who do you have beside? Okay, in his 2 years before that.
So Coker, I'm saying last year when he had enough talent over multiple years to be able to progress into being a quarterback that at least passes for 200 yards in a game more than 4 total times.
The first 2 years, Bryce Young was in the NFL.
Yeah, he dealt with a lot of BS.
Okay.
So did Caleb Williams as a rookie, but you will not cut him any slack at all because of your bias. And I'll let my bias show now.
Caleb Williams had a DJ Moore when he got there.
He had no offensive line, and he had Shane Waldron. Hey guys, I have a playbook. I don't know how to employ it at all, but I have a playbook. I have the Rams playbook, guys. That's what he. I don't watch film with my quarterback. I mean,
that's crazy. That was a crazy thing when I read that. That was the most Bears thing I'd ever heard. I couldn't believe that at the NFL level. I don't care. If you're
going to give him excuses, you better give Caleb excuses.
I will give him that. Like, you're not sitting with your number 1 overall pick and studying. Like, that is.
It's like Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer. Like, bro, like you're getting a lap dance and like, what are we doing? But I'll give Bryce that same benefit of the doubt. Bryce deserves that benefit of the doubt. I mean, the coaches didn't even want him; they wanted Stroud, and so like goodness, terrible.
Caleb Williams didn't want to go to Chicago
for good reason.
That's right. Now we're cooking with gas. That, ladies and gentlemen, see, it always comes out.
I mean, now he has Ben Johnson, so he's going to be awesome. Sins.
You confess it. The Bears are just such a poverty franchise.
Now they have Ben Johnson, so that's turning right around. It's like Liam Cohen going to the Jags. Everyone says, "Oh, Lawrence is terrible." You tried working with Doug Peterson, Urban Meyer.
Wait a minute.
What are we talking about? Liam Cohen.
Doug Peterson is a Super Bowl winning coach and beat Bill Belichick.
It was astounding. He was able to complete that with how incompetent and the lack of creativity and adaptability.
No. And then he did it with Nick Foles as his quarterback. So we're not going to just
that's big.
And we're not going to hold on. And we're not going to credit the defense for winning that game either.
Big Nick.
Yes. He pulled it out in that game and they put up a ton of yards. So it wasn't
he put it down their throat, let's be honest.
Just dismiss Doug Peterson. So I can't dismiss it. I know what you're saying though, but like Ben John, like, okay, the whole thing with the Bears, I'm putting my biases aside for a minute. All right, I'm putting them all aside. Anytime a coach takes over a team and he has immediate success, right, and has that first season, I want to see you do it again.
Oh, for sure.
Like Dan Quinn. Okay? I want to see you do it more than once to prove to me that you're going to stick around. So the clock is ticking on the Bears this year. That's all I'm saying. Like, if you, I really will cut back the trashing of them if they do it again this year.
I agree. I agree with you that they will see regression. Like, I definitely think that happens.
I think they're going to have a losing season.
I'd be surprised if they finish. I'd be surprised if they are better than if they win the division. No one will be more shocked than me.
I don't think they're a playoff team. I don't.
I wouldn't be surprised if they made the playoffs, but I don't think they do. If you made me bet either, I think I'd agree with you.
I think you're going to hear Bears fans get a little humility. So the commissioner, who everybody hates, is announcing for the pick for the team that most people hate.
Rightfully so. Man, Chris Jones is getting older. I like the pick.
Yeah, he's a good player. So we got 3 more picks left. We should be able to wrap up this stream here, because I have not ate dinner. It is 8 o'clock. We got 33 viewers. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Justin Paul Sports NFL Draft coverage. Well, let's see here. Would rather have my 11-year-old son nephew calling quarterback shots than Bryce Young. Eric,
Thank you. Somebody else around here that isn't the most biased Bryce Young fan ever.
Don't care. You don't go number 1 overall, win the Heisman Trophy, and just completely poop the bed. What does it say here? Call me crazy. I like what the Browns and Giants did. Hate what the Kansas City, Miami, and the Jets.
Yes,
That's pretty good assessment there. I don't hate
I
what the
agree.
Jets did, but I think that but Kansas City, here we go with the next Jets picks. The Bears, 100% the Bears. Here we go. He's a Lions fan, folks, and he lives in Chicago.
Oh, he's
Bears
a real
aren't making the playoffs. Chargers Super Bowl for the first future of the season. Oh, he's betting. He's a better like me.
yeah.
And
I
he's
don't
bet
think
that the Chargers are going to hit the Super Bowl. That's a good spicy pick there, Eric. I like that.
it's
Chargers
reasonable.
Super Bowl. I don't know, man. Does Herbert get too much of a pass?
His offensive line gets decimated every year. His team looks great on paper, and then when it comes playoff time, he has no protection in any way, shape, or form every time. I'm not a huge Herbert lover. Like, I think he's a good quarterback, so there's not really any bias there, like there would be for Caleb or somebody. Jets pick is this this has to be receiver, right? You got to go Omar Cooper. I mean, you got to go maybe Denzel Boston. Like, you got to get a wide receiver 2 opposite of Garrett, right?
I don't think Garrett Wilson wants to be there.
Well, let's keep Breece. Yeah, well, we're a tanking team. Let's keep Breece Hall hostage. That'll help us for the long term. This is the dumbest, not the dumbest franchise, but they're up there.
Yeah,
Let's keep Breece Hall hostage. Let's pay Breece Hall $1 billion to lose every year when we don't have a quarterback yet. But trade away Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams, who we just signed to extensions. Big brain. Big.
I think it's going to be Cooper here. I think it's Cooper.
Come on, Cooper, right? Cooper. They need receiver. I've been saying, I thought they were going to do this.
Yeah, it is.
Let's go. Great pick. Man, you put Garrett Wilson at X, maybe even have Mitchell at X in 11 personnel. Then you have Wilson and Cooper switching off between Z and slot for them. That's a great pick.
Justin, my nephew won the MVP of his Pee Wee League, and he's taller than Bryce Young. LOL. Listen to me. I can appreciate.
Facts.
I have not talked this much Panther football in my life, but I can appreciate the Bryce. I can appreciate the Bryce pylons because it's all I've ever heard from him. But I'm telling you, he's gotten better every season, and I think that next year he breaks out. I think this is it. I think this is his contract year. There's that catch I was talking about against Penn State. Oh, you probably missed the highlight. You're looking at your phone, but Mendoza throws that's some separation right there. You get that in the NFL, you're going to get it all day long. He's playing Oregon there. That's Oregon, right?
Dude,
no, that's Purdue.
yeah, his yak ability is off the charts. He's comped to Deebo Samuel for a reason. Not necessarily exactly the same player, but a lot of the yak ability is the same.
Yeah.
Plus, I think
picks left.
I think much like Deebo Samuel, he's a really good zone beater. I think he's better against zone than man, much like him. And then you bring in that backfield ability. You can use him on end rounds, direct snaps, even. It's a great pick for versatility, man. They have 3 firsts next year. You get a quarterback and potentially some more pieces. They have a good offensive line. With Olu Fashanu and then Membu at tackle. That's a pretty good looking team if you just get a quarterback and some reasonably competent coaching.
I think the Jets next year are they're putting Geno Smith out to the Wolves this year. They're tanking again, and they might fire Aaron Glenn.
They will fire Aaron Glenn. Hot take.
But here's the thing. They got enough players over there to have somebody come in that's got some competency and absolutely make something happen in that division because it's not a strong division.
It's almost as bad as the NFC South.
Bills like what they are doing, adding picks by trading down. Sure, if there's nothing you like. If you don't like players and you just want to trade down and get more picks, depends how depleted your roster is.
I mean, they got their wide receiver with DJ Moore. They got tired of drafting terrible busts every year, so they said, let's just draft a wide receiver or trade for a wide receiver too.
I couldn't believe Keon Coleman went in the first round, but I think that there still might be something there. But his head's got to get screwed on right.
He needs to be a slot. He doesn't have the press man ability. Like, that was the biggest thing is like how can you, if you're not great against man and you're not great against press especially, how are you going to be a boundary X? That's like a prerequisite to being an X.
Well, think about who drafted,
Brandon Beane.
Up there. McDermott's gone, so you just don't know what the new staffs can do. Maybe you put him where he's got his strengths. That's the thing about a good coach. A good coach will put players to play for their strengths, and when they take over a team, that's when they usually have to gut the roster.
Ben Johnson.
We'll see.
Ben Johnson is the GOAT. Sorry.
I'm telling you, just do it again. Ben Johnson also... All right, let's talk about him for a minute. Ben Johnson also in the NFC Championship game, or the NFC wild card, whatever, or the divisional against Washington, decided it was a good idea to have St. Brown throwing passes when they're down, and of course he throws a pick. And I think that there's too much. All right, here's another rant that's not related to Ben Johnson.
Too smart for his own good sometimes.
No. I think Dan Campbell has ruined the game of football. I'm going to tell you this right now. All this gambling stuff about going for it on fourth down.
I agree.
I'm telling you right now, it is a pandemic. I saw the Giants last year. They're tied. And all they need to do is kick a field goal, and they go for it on 4th and goal because they're too cowardly to play defense. Take the points. Hold the lead. All right, so Buffalo traded to Tennessee. I think the Titans take Boston here. Why not get a wide receiver to go with? That would be a good pick for them.
You think of Denzel Boston? Yeah, there'd been a lot of talk about him going high second round, but he'd been taking his highs, like 15th overall in some mock drafts. They could use. Trying to think, they have Jeffrey Simmons, so they have a good edge.
They picked an Auburn player, Keldrick Falk, a pass rusher.
More of a traits guy. He didn't have a lot of production. It was kind of baffling. Because he has a good bit of power. He's a really good athlete when you size adjust for his athleticism. I kind of like the fit opposite of Jeffrey Simmons. And they traded for they traded away their defensive tackle. Who did they trade with? Right, you remember who they traded away? Sweat, I believe, for somebody.
That sounds right.
Who did they hold up 1 second? I want to confirm this. Titans.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the final pick in the first round, and we'll be wrapping up the stream quickly. We've been on for 3 hours, ladies and gentlemen. 3 hours of first round coverage alone for the NFL draft. Everybody's going to start getting into, April's wrapping up, so it'll be May and then June. You still got another 6 weeks, or 8 weeks, but you can watch the UFL to hold you over. Watch that league. Got games on tomorrow, Saturday. There's a doubleheader on Sunday. Make sure that you watch the UFL if you want to get your football fix in. But we have come to the last. Hold on a second here. What is this?
Oh, they traded for Jermaine Johnson from the Jets. So that's interesting. So now they have Simmons, Falk, and Jermaine Johnson at edge. Interesting. So they're going to have a hole in the interior of the defensive line, you would think.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you follow the Fantasy Football Strategist on TikTok. I am actually on TikTok now. All I do is post Alabama highlights, though.
That's all right. I do there.
It's shocking, I know.
I mean, nothing wrong with that. They're a really good team.
That's just my first passion when it comes to sports. When I was little, my grandparents turned me on to that. Like they were big. They're from Alabama, and they put that in me when I was young. And I grew up in Notre Dame country. Otherwise, I might not have cared about college football so much. But I'm glad they did it because I absolutely love it. So when I was young, we didn't have all the games weren't available like they are now. Like you, even if it was on ESPN, you had to hope that they were good enough to be on TV. And Alabama had some rough years there in the mid '90s, so I had to read everything through the newspaper. You have to look at the box scores and just catch the highlights on Sports Center. You'd still get it then. That's in Sports Center was actually worth watching. So
I miss those days, dude.
yep, they don't have to overcomplicate stuff sometimes. Like, just give us our highlights and call it a day, and give us good sports commentary. Get those debate shows all off the air, or put them on like the same channel.
They're all cancer, and they don't even believe. The worst part is they don't even believe the BS. They just have arguments for the sake of arguments.
Yeah, because people like to watch that stuff.
Yeah, mindless. Let's just say tards.
So the Titans stretched on your first pick, and we'll see what they do with their second first rounder. But they had two. Let's see who the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. Maybe they go running back here. Is Shaheed still there? If Shaheed's still there, they're good at quarterback. Maybe they go defense.
They were publicly trying to trade out of this pick.
Oh yeah.
That's how bad this draft was.
Wow.
You hardly ever see teams before the draft starts publicly saying, "Hey, we want to trade."
You never know though. When things like that happen, when you have that kind of mentality, sometimes that's when you get your elite player. You know, like this person could be, somebody special, or it could be a total Leggett situation. Although they traded up to get him. Still one of the worst trades I ever saw in my life.
Pick is in. Yeah, terrible.
And I like Leggett as a person. Like, he's funny and he's got charisma and he eats squirrels and all that good stuff.
He's got that South Carolina accent. I reckon. I do declare.
It is real country though. Like, it's super thick country. Like, that's not standard Southern. That's
extra
hill.
Southern.
It's almost like Appalachia.
Yeah, it's he's a Southern boy for sure. Good dude though, like you said.
Yeah, fun. Good for the league. Just if he's a good, better player, he'd be. All right, let's see who the Sea Chickens pick here. I'm just kidding, Seahawks.
I swear if it's Jadarian Price, I'm gonna laugh. I like him. He's my wide receiver or running back 2 of the class, but he is like a second round pick at best.
But this is practically, what are you getting here? It's the last pick of the first round. There's no elite talent. Is there really a terrible pick at this point?
Yes.
Oh, there's another fantasy football trade happening. And here's the trade. Jalen Waddle for Chris Godwin, Javonte Williams, and Jaden Blue.
Easily Waddle. You said wait? Did you say Javonte Williams?
Yep. Javonte Williams, Jaden Blue, and Chris Godwin.
So, okay. I guess Javonte's side, but
that's his way of making up for trade. That's the same guy who just traded JSN away. So,
I like the Williams side. I like Godwin. It helps if you're a contender. If you're not contending, that doesn't make any sense.
The guy who's contending just acquired Waddle.
I think Godwin's a win now piece, but like you get good players on both sides of the trade. I think Godwin, if you're contending, is a good combo with Javonte Williams. You get like a wide receiver 3 and a running back 2 for a guy who I think is a wide receiver 2.
Well, his team is. Let's see who the Seahawks pick here, and then we'll wrap this up. Oh, you called it.
Wow.
Well, real quick, he's got Trevor Lawrence, Devon Achane, Chris Olave, Christian Watson, Colston Loveland, Rashee Rice, Kyron Williams, Brock Purdy, and Deshaun Watson, Bryce Young, Jalen Waddle, Ricky Pearsall, Dontayvion Wicks. Still not as good as my team. I think my team's going to win the whole thing. I've got stars, like superstars.
You have the best receiver trio that you could realistically have.
Over 1.5 round running backs drafted in the first round plus 400. That's a big win. Nice to go, Easy. You love it when your boys win bets.
That's an overdraft of Jadarian Price, in my opinion.
Well, James, do you have any closing thoughts? I'm going to wrap this stream up here.
Interesting first round. One of those things where some guys just have to be picked.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I think for the Seahawks, it makes sense. I think Jadarian Price resembles Kenneth Walker to a degree as a rusher, but he brings no receiving upside to the table whatsoever. But they obviously want that fifth-year option on him, especially with Charbonnet down with the ACL tear.
Yep.
Interesting that
All right.
Denzel Boston doesn't get picked. Last thing.
We'll see you tomorrow. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank my guest, the Fantasy Football Strategist, for joining me and being wrong about the Bears, but he's probably right about some other things that he said for sure. He's an intelligent man, and we thank you for tuning in. I had 32 viewers, 3 hours and 16 minutes. What a marathon that was. First round of the draft in the books. Any final parting thoughts for the audience, sir?
Y'all are the GOATs. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Subscribe to our channels if you haven't.
That's right. You can find us here, find us on TikTok, find us on X, all in the same username. So with that being said, this is Justin from Justin Paul Sports. Wishing you all a good night and enjoy the draft tomorrow and Saturday.